Vince, you are relieved of your duties.
Welcome to the Rawdown. I'm Anthony. That's Tom. That's J-Bone. That's Marco. We got to get right into this, folks.
You're fired.
You're fired.
I'm sorry. You're fired. Get out of here.
You're fired. I suppose you're fired. How the hell are you going to get fired on your day off? You're fired.
It fucking
fire
happens.
himself? What the hell just happened?
I needed to hit the button somehow. But listen, so it happened in a tweet. We all wondered what a post-Vince McMahon world would look like. And here we are. It is the first episode of the Rawdown after Vince McMahon. He did not pass away. He did not have a big retirement speech. He retired on Twitter. At 77, it is time to retire. Thank you, WWE Universe. Hashtag then now forever. Look, this is going to be one of the longest episodes of the Rawdown in a long time. There's a lot to break down on this, so let's just get right into it. J-Bone, first of all, welcome back, J-Bone. Do you want to introduce yourself? I didn't give you guys proper introductions. Introduce yourself, J-Bone.
I'm the American Bulldog, Davy Bone Smith here, you know.
Davy Bone Smith.
Oh my God.
Your face again, J-Bone.
Yeah, I'm back, baby. I'm back and better than ever. I can't wait for Vince to give to appear on AEW Dynamite and give that big old hug to Tony Khan.
I've heard many wrestlers say Vince McMahon gives the best hug. So,
oh man, yeah. Ask the paralegals.
Yeah, right. J-Bone, get into this. What are you feeling about all of this?
Well, first of all, you know, good to be back. But man, I tell you what, when this whole thing started, I think it was June 17th is whenever the first initial story broke. And, you know, reading it and seeing that it was consensual relationship and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, initially I thought, man, this could be kind of bad for Vince, right? You know, but let's just kind of wait and see. Then it was the second story that Wall Street Journal put out. And it's been covered here. And that was just like some of the stuff I read in there. Just, I mean, it's not surprising, but it just it really turned my stomach, to be honest with you. And, you know, especially seeing that, like, you know, there was a former wrestler involved. And I've talked about it on my podcast, but, you know, but seeing that a former wrestler was involved and she was forced to have a relationship with him. And blah, 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 blah. It's like, all right, get this fucker out of here. You know, like, it's more along the lines. Like, I was never like a guy really per se to say, hey, get Vince out of WWE. Like, let him have a spot in WWE, not creative, but, you know, let him run business. Let him do whatever. That's what I always kind of preach, you know. Never wanted to see Vince, you know, leave necessarily. But over the past month and a half, I was like, get this son of a bitch out of here. Let's roll up to some new blood here. And, you know, that's basically what we're seeing right now. You know, I mean, a part of me makes me, you know, slightly fearful for the future because this has been Vince's world for 40 years. And we've been living in it. So it makes me, you know, a little bit fearful, but I think they have a good plan in place, and I think they've done a good job, like really combating any fear from the audience and investors and things like that. Now, I mean, there's another play now and I'm sure we'll talk about it in a little bit. But it seems like he used company funds,
Mm-hmm. We're gonna be getting to that in a minute. But
my initial thing is I'm glad to see him go. Like get him out of here.
Tom, we were at Raw yesterday, and
Yes,
we'll be talking about our experience at Raw later on in the show. And you mentioned something that I thought was very interesting. Do you think that this is the last that we see of Vince McMahon, period, on WWE TV? I mean, like with everything that's come out, now we're learning that everything with these hush money scandals possibly, and with this new report, has to do with company funds. That was part of the reason why I thought that we didn't see some big type of special send off for Vince, is because there's so much more information coming out about this. Plus, this whole HBO sports special that is coming out in the future, which who knows what's going on with that. But you talked about this with me last night, so give your thoughts on this. Do you think this is the last we see of Vince?
I do. Let's be honest here. He came out and he announced his retirement. This was not something he chose to do. Vince McMahon was never going away at this point if this whole thing didn't happen. He wasn't going away till he was in his grave if this whole thing didn't happen. He had to walk away because you know what? He still has a majority of the ownership in this company. So if he stayed, he's still hurting his own financial future. It would hurt his own company by him staying. So we're not, like I told you last night, we're never going to see him get to go into the Hall of Fame because of this. Right. I heard it on Busted Open Radio yesterday. Bully made a great point. He said Vince McMahon is not on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. He is the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, because without him, he put wrestling on a map back in the 80s. He made it a national thing. Mm-hmm. So, but at the same point, we could sit here and we can, praise Vince McMahon for all that he did, but that all got flushed down the toilet bowl the last month after finding out everything he's done. And initially I had said, usually when something like this happens, you hear a lot more people coming out and you hear more stories, and that didn't happen at first. But now, the WWE's own investigation team found him guilty of all this stuff. I told you guys on Friday, I said something else is going to break by the beginning of next week. When he retires at 4:00 on a Friday, there's a reason why companies do that type of thing. It's because that's how they try to keep it out of the press and control it. And then first thing Monday morning, Triple H has announced the head of creative, and then putting that in the shadow is that he did do this money. He did do this hush money with company funds. The guy, he's getting his rematch against, the feds. It's not a rematch he wants at this point. He could wind up spending the rest of his life behind bars. This is.
I don't know about that. I don't think that he'll go to jail. No,
it's a federal crime, dude. He used company money.
Not the rest of his life. There's so many. This is not like a Bernie Madoff situation. Okay. Yeah. This is it's $14 million. It's a drop in the bucket in the grand scheme of things, unless something bigger comes out of it.
Dude, but I think there's so much more than we know.
No, look at Martha Stewart. She spent a year in jail.
But I'm just saying, you haven't heard all the stories yet. There's more coming.
Yeah.
This HBO special is supposed to have damning stories about him. Are we going to hear that he forced himself on more people?
Yeah,
he should just be wiped away from the public eye. And I think that's how WWE treated people for years. They would just wipe people out when he wouldn't. When they were separate ways. Vince is going to be wiped out from his own company. It's sad.
It's insane to think. It's absolutely insane to think that the guy that has wiped out so many different names because of these scandals is going to be the guy that is wiped out from hit. How could you wipe out someone like Vince? I'm sure it's not going to be like a Benoit situation where he's not mentioned. I'm sure Vince is going to be mentioned, especially when things pass over. We've seen it even in the WWE with someone like Hulk Hogan. That there was the whole scandal with Hulk Hogan with the racist everything with him, and you see him a few years later showing up in a Saudi Arabia show, and now he's doing the Legends Nights and everything. So
we saw him dressed as a pirate.
Dude, we saw him dressed as a pirate.
He
with
does way more than that too, because
he's a real pirate.
Maybe we see Vince with a pirate suit on in a couple of years.
Please, games Hogan is, the collectors and the fans kind of wipe it out. They kind of forget because everybody still wants his figures. Everybody still wants Hulk Hogan stuff. So I just don't know. Vince McMahon.
Some of us.
Some of us.
Don't you?
I mean, the news. I mean, it's been tough as like kind of like a collector in that sense with the Hogan stuff coming
Agreed.
out. Even with Warrior, I'm a huge Warrior mark and stuff like that. The only difference between Warrior and Hogan is there's no video evidence. There's only there's only people that were in attendance at one of his speeches when he was doing his conservative rounds and stuff like that. So like there's that. So like I can kind of brush that under the rug, but when there's damning evidence, as you like kind of said about the Vince McMahon that came out about Hulk Hogan, where he's just like blatantly saying the word and talking about his daughter's boyfriend at the time and all that type of stuff. Yeah, it's rough. It is rough as a wrestling fan and as a collector in that sense. So
my last comment about this, though, not about this, but just particular part is Vince only retired on Friday to try and have some saving face so that his name still could be mentioned. And it's not going to happen. He's going to, we'll hear his name maybe mentioned, but we're never going to see him brought out to Raw. We might hear him being backstage at MSG in a couple of years if they're in town, once things, depending on what happens. But again, there's a lot more news stories to come that we haven't heard yet. And a lot is going to depend on what's in there.
Oh, yeah. I think we said this the whole time. Like there's definitely gonna be more. Literally every time, every time we do a show, and we say it on the show, oh, something else is coming out. So like literally, there's gonna be something this week probably. I can almost guarantee.
Oh, 1,000%.
But yeah, so like I mean, I'm assuming it's my turn to jump in here. But
go for it.
I'm gonna start off with this. So like another reason why they they did that. Retirement so late in the afternoon is because after the close of the bell on Wall Street, the stock market's closed too. So that's not going to impact stock prices for the WWE. So that was, I mean, if you look at this whole like rollout of him, retiring, it was strategic, definitely. Even we'll talk about it. I'm assuming Stephanie's speech at the beginning of SmackDown, how it was a 3-minute. Hey, my father did this, and he's retired, and thank you, Vince. And that was literally it. So the whole thing is, you're like telling me that this guy that spent probably, I mean, we'll say 40. I'm gonna go 50 years. I'm gonna go because he was a commentator. He was in the wrestling business for that long. So you're gonna take a guy that like literally, like Anthony kind of mentioned, created it's his world. Like we live in his world. We're not here if it's not for this guy. For Vince McMahon. And I don't care what you want to say, who you want to say is your new god, meaning TK or whatever. Vince McMahon is the reason why we are all sitting here doing this right now. I don't care what anyone says. If it's not for him, we don't know each other. We've never met. Yeah. All four of us. So let's keep that into perspective. He is essentially the reason why we are watching wrestling right now.
That's true.
Obviously, people are watching different things. AEW came along, Impact, ECW, WCW, like all these things happened. WCW happened because of Vince McMahon, because Ted Turner loved wrestling, but Vince McMahon kind of pushed that into happening. I mean, there's no other way around it. Like literally everything now, like we still live in his world. Like we still live in a world that he created in wrestling. AEW isn't happening if Cody Rhodes doesn't leave the WWE. Like you can literally trace it. It's 6 degrees of separation for this guy. Like you can literally trace everything back to him. Like it's insane. So he'll definitely never be forgotten, ever. I don't think like you can't mention WWE without Vince McMahon. And the other part of that too is with the investor part of it. He has to have that. It's kind of rough. So like his name kind of has to be attached to the company still, because we don't know what the networks, what the investors, all these business dealings, we don't know how they feel about a Stephanie and Nick Khan ownership of the company. We don't know how USA feels about Triple H ran Raw on USA or even a SmackDown on Fox. We don't know how the Fox, like we don't know any of this stuff. So like he kind of still has to be associated with the company until, he's like the training wheels right now. He has to be kind of like, his name has to float around a little bit until, for Stephanie, Paul, I'm not going to call him Triple H because he's now a professional, Paul and Nick, they all have, like, Vince McMahon is their training wheels until they can get this bike in motion without him. For me personally, that's what I think. I mean, obviously they have the capabilities. They have they've been doing it for years and years. They can definitely run a company, but right now I think it's too early for that just to diminish Vince McMahon. You don't think they're gonna call this guy? You don't think he's still gonna have some word in some things?
I'm sure he'll definitely be in Stephanie's ear, Bruce Pritchard's ear,
well, that's another thing.
His
Bruce
guys
Pritchard
and gals, if you will.
He might not even be around. It seems like they're getting rid of the Vince McMahon regime.
Well, yeah, I was just about to get into that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of these Vince's guys that are either leaving or they're going to kick. I mean, Bruce Pritchard, he already got kicked out of the head creative role. We'll talk about that in a minute. Kevin Dunn might be on his way out, which would definitely be improving the visual end of things. But a lot of these Vince guys are going to be kind of kicked out. And Marco, you mentioned we don't know what USA and all these different places are thinking about, but from what I read, I mean, as far as what USA was saying, they were pretty positive with the changes that Triple H has already made based on this past episode. And we'll talk about Raw later on, but you could definitely see there was some changes. There's only so much that you could do in the go home show to SummerSlam, but you can definitely see there was a change in the product. So I will give them that. But so far, I would say there have been overall overwhelming support from what we've read from the locker room, from all the people that are working there, from the TV networks of USA Network themselves. So far, so good, I would say. But I mean, there's a ways to go on this. Yeah. And, it just makes you think.
I will say oh, go ahead, Tom.
Apparently, USA is very happy with this Triple H being in charge. Yep. But what I was going to say is, how funny is it that Vince McMahon wiped out all of Triple H's guys from NXT, and now Stephanie and Triple H can wipe out all the people.
An eye for an eye.
It's time to shake things up around here.
The longest,
kind of funny.
The longest running storyline they probably have right now is you've probably seen it floating around, the McMahon Helmsley era. I mean.
Yeah,
art imitates life, man. That's a legit thing. It literally could be something where
I love this picture.
It's Triple H, it's Stephanie, and Paul. I mean, it could be Paul Heyman. I mean he could step into a creative role.
No, I actually read how well Paul Heyman, Stephanie, and Triple H get along. I would love to see him get a major role here where they actually listen to him.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's gonna. I mean, that's another thing too. You have a guy like Paul Heyman that's a talker, and networks like him, obviously he's doing what he's doing on SmackDown with Roman Reigns. I mean, that's undeniable. You could definitely tell his handprints have been all over their storylines and all that stuff. So I mean, the only way they could really put it over, I wouldn't see if they got Eric Bischoff back in the fray, where he's kind of like that business guy too. He kind of took that fall for the lack of viewership on SmackDown. It wasn't really his fault. He's kind of
he came out and took credit and said it was partially his fault.
Oh, really?
I give him credit for it. He said he didn't take it seriously enough when he was doing that job.
Okay.
He took the blame, so I give that guy credit. So maybe there is room for him back there too if he wants to come back serious.
Yeah, I mean he does little appearances and stuff, but he's another network guy. The networks love him too. If you go and see his track record for the stuff that he's done with NBC, he's done a lot of reality shows and stuff with like Viacom and MTV and he's really he's a mover and a shaker essentially.
I love Lizard Lick Towing show.
But yeah, man, I don't know. It's like I said, I was telling my wife it's exciting and at the same time sad, because even Tom, it's a part of our childhood, man. This guy's been literally around since we were little. We were swimming in our dad's sacks. I mean, we've been around since
swimming in our dad's sack riders.
That's a good time to plug before our time.
Except for, well, actually, technically you two, but yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's sad, man. It's almost
I've actually detached myself because I find I wouldn't even call them allegations at this point because they've clearly these are payments that they found, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call them allegations. I would say that these are pretty credible.
Yeah.
I would say that these events that have occurred are so egregious to me that I have totally detached any emotional connection I had to Vince McMahon. You know, like as and I get what you're saying. Like, you know, this is the Walt Disney of pro wrestling, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, he obviously, you know, he just he's just a narcissist, you know, that. And one thing that narcissists do is they feel like they can't get caught. Well, guess what, pal? You got caught, pal. And I mean, and that's why people are like, well, how can he be so stupid? Because the dude's a narcissist. Like, he thought and it all got built to, I beat the federal government. I beat Ted Turner. I became a billionaire. You know, like all these steps that where he elevated himself and put himself on this pedestal.
What's good in the hood?
Oh my God! Yeah, I'm glad you didn't finish that.
Do you have the rest of that clip?
Yeah, like, and that's another thing too. Like, listen to the rest of that damn clip. Like, that shows you right there.
Come on, you can't hate on Do-Rag Vince, man.
No, I mean,
Do-Rag Vince is
yeah.
out.
I think we can hate
Tell
on
me,
Do-Rag
I
Vince.
didn't just do that.
Look, there's different ways that you could perceive Vince, and obviously, like, you know, Marco, you're more of the, you know, you could see more of the positive end of it, which I can understand from that end. Like, you know, going back, and not to cheap plug before our time, but like, you know, you really understand that WrestleMania is the story of Vince McMahon. Like, if there was no Vince with his ruthless business tactics, you know, taking the 50% from Vince Sr., the 20% from Gorilla Monsoon, you know, going and raiding the territories and, you know, just everything, you know, working with MTV. If that wasn't Vince's mentality, we would not be, like you said, Marco, sitting here and talking about the WWE as we know it today. But I could see from your end too, J-Bone, like, you know, everything has piled up on top of each other to the point where it's like, are we really surprised that this is where we lead ourselves? And that kind of gets us to our comments here. Like, you know, Nick Storm's in the chat with us, and he says, Vince is and was so integral in my childhood and fandom. I wouldn't be watching wrestling without a Vince McMahon. But you can also look at it from the other side. We have Chad in the chat. Glad he's gone. He's made his bed. But damn, it's a crazy thought to think of a Vince-less WWE. Bitter fucking sweet. No, absolutely. And something I wanted to bring up that, Marco, we've been talking about on previous shows is that, and this is something that caught my eye because I was the one really mentioning this. You know, if you go and you just watch how the media has been covering this, how the news has been covering this, really take an eye on how these bigger news industry, you know, bigger news sites are covering these stories. Like, if it wasn't reported on Friday, it wasn't reported at all. Mm-hmm. After this, there has been no updates on anything. NBC, ABC, I saw everything on Friday, and it was a short mention. And I actually had a quote that I wanted to bring up here. And it was from, I believe, Yahoo Finance. I forget the exact name.
That's where I'll go to get my wrestling news.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the thing. Is like they were really the only one. When you type in, you know, go on YouTube and type in like Vince McMahon retires from WWE. They were one of the only ones that popped up to really talk about this situation. And the only person that I saw was this woman on Yahoo Finance, and you know, they talk about it for like 2 minutes about, you know, the ramifications. And then she goes into talking about, oh, you know, I grew up with the WWE. The Undertaker was my favorite wrestler. You know, this is stuff I grew up on. Like, you know, Marco, what have I been saying? If this was any other commissioner, president of any other sports league, this would be the front page of the New York Times. This would be the top story on ABC and NBC. But the fact that it's the WWE, and because this is Vince McMahon, a character who has had a lot of, you know, although Titus O'Neil says differently, has dipped his toes into these political storylines and these racial storylines and all of this. The fact that we're talking about
titties.
Oh my God. The fact that we have talked about these, you know, a guy within the professional wrestling industry, I feel like the story is being taken a lot less seriously. And I think that's just something to bring up that,
that's a good point because and I think it's because more and more along the lines is the mainstream media, like wrestling still kind of, it's been getting better, but still has that stigma. It's like, it's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? Like, we're not surprised, which, yeah, but it doesn't mean these women, especially the ones with the last report, these women have suffered, and with this day and age, I'm just some kind of surprised, like there's not a bigger kind of outrage or outcry on it.
I don't get it. I just don't understand.
The movement is just not being mentioned here,
right?
Well,
you had Harvey Weinstein
years ago.
Who else?
I think
his buddy Donald.
I think I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm not. I'm not illegal. I'm not a paralegal. Thank God, and I don't work for the WWE. But
you would be hired for WWE.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, pal.
I know.
Well, that ain't a knee slapper, buddy.
I know you. If you listen to the audio version, that clip is so funny because it looks like Brock Lesnar's like nodding his head to that was funny, right? To Bobby Lashley's
that ain't a knee slapper.
Idiot. That's a knee slapper, right? But anyway, I think it's because of the NDAs that were signed. Technically, they can't come out and say anything.
Yeah,
these women signed an agreement saying you will not speak of this.
And that's a whole other part of it too, because we don't know what they could be held liable for stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's the thing. So if they do come out, now they're breaking a legal binding contract on their end, and now they can have a lawsuit against them, essentially.
That's
so
true.
it's maybe that's why we'll see what happens with. I think the real big story is going to be that real sports thing.
Right.
Supposedly, it's obviously with HBO, like we talked about this last week, they can get a little bit more in depth. They can tell those stories because it's on HBO. It's on a cable network. They can use certain language that networks can't use in regular news channels. So there might be some more vivid details of what happened. Well, who's to say it's going to be the actual women? I think it's going to be like friends and associates of the women. I think it's going to be secondhand stories and not directly from them. Only because, like I said, NDAs, legal binding agreements.
I think we're gonna hear a story of someone that didn't sign an NDA, and that went through the.
You think he just got careless at one point? It was like, you don't gotta sign shit.
Well, I think it could be somebody from like the 80s, like that woman referee, right? Like somebody from the 80s where he didn't have the money necessarily to do hush money, but he had this position of power and said, God damn it, you're gonna blah blah blah.
Yeah, but
if it's just hush money and somebody had consensual sex and he paid them to shut up, I don't care. Like if they agreed to it, but if he pushed himself on it, that's the big difference between the two things there.
Yeah, that's something we don't know yet either.
Maybe there's someone that he did have a consensual sexual relationship with. That's the person that didn't sign an NDA because it wasn't really needed if it was consensual, and he wasn't worried earlier, like years before he started signing NDAs, that could still come out. So listen, if all he did was pay hush money, I wouldn't care. Run the company, you're a slime, you did that. But if you push yourself on people, that's where it's like.
And they use company funds. I mean, that's not. That's not.
Don't forget that 14 million.
It doesn't bother me.
So I want to hammer this home.
That doesn't bother you, Tom.
No, why do I care if he did company funds for it?
I mean, I see your point, but
making billions.
And that's the. So let's bring this back. So because that's the investigation. The investigation isn't whether he's. He was messing around with like women and stuff like that within the company. The investigation by the board of directors is in the funds used. It's not. It has nothing to do with any of the sexual allegations. That's obviously a part of it because that's what he was paying it with. But the investigation by the WWE is if he was using that money to do so.
The board is concerned about your extremely questionable decisions as of late.
Exactly. See, like. I mean, that's what it is. So, like, let's try to remember that. Like, reel that back in. It's obviously there's all the stories that are he paid these women, blah blah blah. But the real investigation by, like I said, the WWE and its board of directors is the money used. I don't want to say they don't care about the women that were paid, but they're not focused on that. It seems like it's just focused on like where that money went. Then once they find that out, now you can, go a little bit further if you need to.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think they're just trying to get that out of the way, and then once they find that he was guilty of that, if he is obviously innocent until proven guilty, then you can go a little bit further and dig a little bit deeper. But right now, that's why everyone's kind of like iffy, and that's why you see all this like outpouring for like from wrestlers, like, oh my god, thank you, Vince, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Mick Foley was one of them. Bailey was one of them.
Shocked to see Mick Foley.
I know, me too.
There's so many wrestlers like giving that.
It made me disappointed to see that, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, you look at just the history, and like so many people have said, you look at like guys like Brett, Mick Foley, all these guys, they have said that like Vince is like a father figure to him.
Yeah.
That's why, like, we'll talk about it in Collar and Elbow, but there's a certain someone who's about to walk out, allegedly because of Vince leaving. We'll get to that in a minute.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy to me. I haven't.
Which is crazy to think about, especially the time and place. But look, there's so much that we are getting into about Vince, and we've already hit 30 minutes on this, and I'm sure the talk of Vince will continue throughout the night. I do want to move on just a little bit.
Wait, I have one quick question.
All right, go for it.
You guys, do you guys find it weird at this point how Stephanie is sticking up for him and showing her love support?
Well, look,
father,
hold that thought. I want to get to the next topic because we're going to be talking about Stephanie. I want to get to this comment first. Chad says, what a weird turn in all of this. Fans were just fawning over Vince after that Pat McAfee interview, and now this. Yeah, and that's where a lot of those little tidbits were thrown in, like my wife at the time, he says, and all of these different things.
Yeah. He's such a piece of shit.
I know, he's ridiculous. Before we get into it, though, I just want to shout out some...
I'm sorry, but just real quick, I just imagine getting in the bag just going, golly, who are the boner patrol over here?
Oh, man. I mean, I just want to shout out some guys that we have in our chat right now. Freems is with us. Aimbot. We've got Tyson is with us. So many amazing people. Jaden Sneed is with us. So many great people. Guys, make sure that you are watching along with us. Plus, if you're on Twitch, you can get those submissions in for your AEW Kenny Omega exclusive figure giveaway that Fig Night is doing. So we got a lot of great stuff going on at the tavern. But there's also a lot of great stuff happening at the WWE. And what I mean by that is that Vince is gone, and now we have someone taking his role, and who better than Steph? Welcome to the queendom, ladies and gentlemen. Stephanie McMahon is now... So let me get this straight. So she is the co-CEO with Nick Khan, but she is the sole chairwoman. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It reminds me on The Office whenever Michael Scott was the manager, and then they promoted Jim as also co-manager.
Yes. Yeah, she's the chairwoman. So overall chairwoman / co-CEO of the WWE. So
she has overall the most power. It's her and then Nick Khan, basically.
Next to Vince, who still has all those shares in the company. But
didn't Fightful report that he was he might have been giving up his shares, or did I make that
up? No, there was like 0.01% he sold off like yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Which was like $2 million.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. No, he's gonna keep hold of that shit. He ain't getting rid of that.
No, but let's talk a little bit about Stephanie now, because now there's obviously a huge dynamic change here. Of course, Stephanie McMahon now the chairwoman. This was right after Vince. The whole when we were talking about when Vince stepped down. First of all, Stephanie became the interim chairwoman. Now, obviously, that she is the permanent chairwoman. It seems so. Definitely a shift in the landscape. I always expected that Stephanie was going to step in for that role when the time came. Of course, things got a little shaky when Nick Khan came in, but I always kind of expected that we would see Steph here. Tom, you had a question before that I want to get to because I'm very interested in this.
Yeah, do you find it weird how supportive she is of her father, who's paying this hush money because he was cheating on her mother? How is she there supporting him and saying into the camera, "I love you, Dad"? Like, it just blows my mind unless they all knew this all along. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me, because if I find out my dad was doing this on my mom, I wouldn't be happy with him and being on TV supporting him.
I mean, it's tough because obviously we don't know what goes on in their, in their personal lives and stuff like that. We don't know if, obviously they probably knew all this was happening ahead of time, and they probably got all that stuff out as far as like a family grievance thing. We don't know. Like that's why time passes and you have that you're able to come to terms with what your family member did, and you just got to move on from it. It's business.
I don't know if I could ever move on from that. I just don't think I could.
I don't know.
It feels like it's just a business thing. I mean, like,
yeah,
she sold out, pal.
Well,
she bought in.
Totally...
She didn't sell out.
I bought in. Welcome to the queendom. No, I mean, there's different ways to look at it. Like, I feel like this was more along the lines of, what's best for business. Just get it out of the way. I feel like if anything, this was the best way to go about, quote unquote, honoring him. Like, you want to address the situation because you had to address the situation. There's no way that you could start that SmackDown at 8 p.m. on Fox and just go about business as usual. You needed to start with something. So, of course, the I love you, Dad, into the camera, that's weird. But you needed to keep up that what am I trying to say? Just
energy.
Keep up. Sure. Yeah. Trying to keep up the energy. And you don't want to give weird vibes. Like, you had Titus O'Neil say it last week. We take you out of your reality and we put smiles on people's faces. You don't want it to be a case of like a weird statement that Stephanie brings out. Like, what's on screen is on screen. She probably figured, just do the little smile and wave for him and get it out of the way. Thank you, Vince. There's not going to be any video package. There's not going to be any Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So if anything, I feel like this was the way to go about it. If there was any way to go about it,
I wish she would have done the "I'm sorry, I love you."
Did super kick the camera? Kick the.
No, I was hoping that she was going to come out and do a Roman. This is my yard now,
and
then spear Kevin Dunn.
Acknowledge me.
Absolutely.
Spear Michael Cole on her way out.
Oh God!
She did actually make a joke about Michael Cole. That was kind of funny.
That was fun. Yeah, she tried to keep up like the little lightheartedness.
Yeah, it's like I said. It's for me before you start. It's tough. Essentially, it's her father. At the end of the day, it's her. Right. It's the guy that raised her. I mean, it's not like it. Like I said, it's not a family member like your cousin or your aunt or your uncle. It's your father that's going through that. So like we said it's weird. It's probably weird for her if you think about it. Mm-hmm. It's like I just been handed the keys to the kingdom, like
the queendom.
Yeah, not the way that not the way I intended. She probably intended her father was like, I'm at an age now where I can't do. I'm 80 years old or whatever, 90, whatever he's gonna retire, and now here's the keys. But now it's just like so abrupt. That
right.
It has to be business as usual. They have as a multi-billion-dollar company, they have to do that. Like you said, they can't. Good.
Like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Vince was trotting his ass out on TV for weeks after these first allegations came out, saying "done now forever," and now here she is, not giving a shit. I'm going to go out there and
Someone else brought something up that was really funny too. That a lot of people thought he knew his last appearance was that John Cena celebration.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch when I forget where I think I read it, and I went back and watched it, that like speech that he gave before John Cena came out. It did seem like it was like, it did seem like it was kind of like, I'm not going to be here for much longer. And then him like skipping down the stairs and all that stuff, and that whole thing.
He definitely.
Oh God.
Yeah, he knew he was like. I think he knew like weeks ago that he was going to be heading out the door soon. So,
well, look at it this way. Like Tom, you mentioned, her trotting herself out to, show her face and everything. I feel like this is two very different situations. When it comes to Vince, he was going out there to save his ass. When it comes to Stephanie, she's going out there to save the company's ass.
Yeah. Like, this comment by Mom Jeans is friggin' excellent. Read that real quick.
Yeah, we have Mom Jeans is on Twitch. She's it's about way things look, and WWE wants to look like family business. Stephanie is going to smile for the camera, but has her own feelings. Shareholders want smiles. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I said.
I mean, it is, but at the same time, like God, like
it's her dad, man. Yeah, it's
You
like
sell-
I said.
you- so you sold to your mom like to your dad like that, you know?
But the other thing, we don't know the relationship between her and her mother. Like, we don't know if they hate each other.
Well, there
They
was
love
just a
each other,
report
like-
that Stephanie and Shane apparently don't have a good relationship right now. So
Yeah.
that's also something to consider if ever seeing Shane in the authoritative role here in WWE. But I just want to throw out another question to you guys because we're talking so much about Vince. But like, if we were to focus a little bit on Stephanie, like, what do you guys think about? Oh, we're naked. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Hope Vince doesn't come after us. What do you guys think about this whole picking Stephanie? Do you feel like it was the right move?
Oh, yeah.
Was there anyone else that you could have even
No.
considered? Like Nick Khan, maybe, but
Nah.
like I feel like you had to put Stephanie in there.
Let me ask you guys this question. Would you be shocked if somehow Nick Khan is involved in some of these cover-ups recently? He's the lawyer. He's
No.
like Rick DeVille.
No, he's not.
I think he's a part of it. I think he's
I'm waiting for
I'm sure
this
he
to
is.
drop that it's him, and let's get him the hell out of there too.
See, I don't think. I don't think he has,
good for him.
I don't
Good
think
for
he
him
has
for
anything to
doing this
do with
shit.
it. I don't think. He came in.
You don't think he does? I think
no. Why would he cover up for Vince?
Well, I mean, we don't know anything
No, not
about
covering
Nick Khan
up.
yet.
I think he's the one like digging the dirt up.
Oh, I thought you meant he was
I
covering.
think
up.
he might have helped whip up some of these NDAs.
That I agree.
Oh
with.
no.
No, that'd be his actual lawyer. What's his name?
Yeah.
The lawyer for the WWE. I forget. The
Like
one
I
that
said,
was
we don't know
Mark
anything about
Sterling.
Nick Khan.
Mark Sterling
Mark
Esquire. That's right.
You got a petition to get Vince out of the WWE.
Nice.
One
Yeah,
more
that's it.
signature. Kevin Gates.
yeah.
Go ahead, Marco.
But no, Kevin Gates.
Be our native son.
I thought you meant because he came in he came in after I think like Triple H became like when he was the head of creative for a little bit, which was like 2016, 2017. So he came in like at the obviously like within the last decade, but not like he wasn't around like in the beginning, like during like the 2000s and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought that's what I thought. I thought you.
2019.
Yeah, I thought you were saying 29th. That's even more recent. So yeah, no, he may definitely have seen like an opportunity to, to move up the chain a little bit faster than normal.
I love all the memes.
I mean, the other thing too is like, who's to say Stephanie and Triple H weren't a part of it as well?
They're all probably in cahoots.
Yeah, like get this guy
You
out of
never
here.
know.
We could see we're losing finances. Like, I mean, we don't know what the company looks like financially. We know what the product looks like.
Well, they're missing
We've been
$14 million.
Yeah, that. And they're missing 14 million viewers every week too. That's the other thing. So
Thanks, dude.
that's the other thing. But so you look at all these things, and they're there to make money, and they're there to make the product as good as they can to investors and to all these networks and stuff like that. And if there's a person that's not willing to change their ways and make it a better product and make it more presentable, you got to get rid of them at some point, right? I mean, be it a positive way or a sneaky way, which
Nobody
is
is bigger than this business.
Everyone go back and watch that clip if you can. Well, we might have to put that in the link just so you can see how accurate that whole thing is. It's so
Yeah,
eerie.
it is.
It's
You
the
know,
weirdest
like-
thing ever.
It reminds me of Step Brothers at the end whenever he goes, I think I'm gonna be sick. I think
Just from my perspective on this, we play all these little sound bites like Vince, you're relieved of your duties and all of this, but this is the wrestling that I grew up in. Like, I was young at this time. Like, I remember this whole storyline of Vince getting kicked out, Triple H
You were young
coming
at
in.
that time. You're still young.
I'm still young, yes. But I was younger, Anthony, at this time. And you hear the sound bites of CM Punk, this company will be better when Vince is dead, and his doofus son-in-law. But 10 years later, we're here. This
We're live.
we're live, pal. This is exactly what, and it just really makes you think about that whole time period with CM Punk and all of those little storylines that it was almost
weird.
eerily foreshadowing what we're experiencing right now.
So I wonder, at the end of the pipe bomb, whenever he's like, whenever Punk goes, we talk about all this bullying campaign,
Oh,
and he cut the
God.
mic off.
That's next.
We talk about all this bullying campaign. He goes, "Oh, he's bullying women for all this time.
Yeah.
I got some comments here I want to get into. Mom Jeans is back with us. At the end of this storm, they will continue to bury AEW in production and star power. Then now forever, WWE will always be king. And even with the mess, still better than the mud show AEW.
Is that Dave Shear?
That's one way to look at it.
We don't need to disparage other companies. We need to.
We'll talk about the changes in what we saw from Raw in a little bit, but no need to get into company wars yet. John the Fisherman is with us. Maybe Vince really had balls the size of grapefruits.
Yeah,
they gave that gimmick to the Miz now. So
we knew he could do tricks with his ass. We've seen that.
Oh
yeah,
my
we've seen
God,
that. Yeah,
gross.
yeah.
It's unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, that ass got fired too.
Yeah.
That was the latest trick.
We need the lie detector test clip. He's like,
Yeah, that's next. Oh my God.
Not a pervert.
No pervert.
We make movies.
I had to get it in once.
Now, real quick, I mean, and one thing I want to quickly bring up. I got a question,
Okay,
and I know we're talking about Stephanie, but
that's fine.
can we see Vince just like sitting there doing nothing? You know,
Starts doing signings.
Probably. Yeah, all right. Welcome everyone to No Chance with Conrad Thompson.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon.
You're listening
Hey,
to no Chance I'll Tell with Conrad Thompson.
hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Maybe he can be the newest member of the tavern. You can get him to host one of these shows.
Oh man.
Could you imagine?
No Chance I'll Tell coming soon to the
No
Turnbuckle
Chance I'll
Tavern.
Tell coming soon.
Hey, it's Conrad
Yeah,
Thompson.
I mean, all this with Stephanie, like I think we're all unanimously agreeing, like this is definitely if there was any way to go, this was the way to go. Picking Stephanie, but there was also another person being picked for an authoritative role in the WWE. Not too long ago, it was right before Monday Night Raw, of course, because why wouldn't it be just thrown on a Monday that there's a new head of creative? It's time to play the game, ladies and gentlemen. Not only is Triple H the head of creative, he has also replaced John Laurinaitis as the head of talent relations. So that guy has two positions. And boy, oh boy, if there was ever someone to put at the head of creative that the fans would unanimously be behind, it has to be in Triple H. You've already seen a lot of just the public, support that you hear from Triple H backstage. Random quote that I'm remembering now, but Liv Morgan says that creative is in good hands with Triple H in charge. So you can obviously see that, any way you look at it, Triple H being in an authoritative role back. We saw that little weird. We've been getting weird Triple H news up until this point. Like we got the little blurb about him coming back to NXT and saying I'm back, and then randomly on WWE.com they announced that Triple H was back in office, back in doing his work. So now we're here that he officially has two head roles, and I mean, what's everyone's take on this? Are you happy to see Triple H?
Well,
Better than Bruce Pritchard.
Better than anyone, honestly.
Listen, honestly, I'm happy because I've wanted to see Triple H get this position for a long time. But let's remember, there have been other people. Look at Eric Bischoff. He came up with the NWO, which turned out to be one of the best stories in wrestling ever. He's had chances to run things again, and he's never been able to come close to the success he had with that. So am I happy Triple H is in charge? Yes, but he still has a lot to prove. He's now running two shows instead of one. Like it's a major difference. Now he has to balance rosters. Is he going to get back to what we want? Hopefully. I feel confident, but I'm not sold that he can do it yet. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. Black and Gold was awesome.
Well, Tom, don't forget, like all of those other, Eric Bischoff and all these other names that you could mention, they were under Vince McMahon. This is the first time that we're seeing a head of creative that is not
Eric
reporting
Bischoff
to Vince.
went back to WCW after he left, couldn't do it. He went to Impact. He didn't do anything over there, so it wasn't.
Well,
He didn't want to be.
Impact,
He didn't want to be an
WCW.
Impact. He said that. He said like literally, I was Hawks tax money.
Yeah,
You
he was
know,
there
like,
for Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was there because Hawk demanded I be there. I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And
Just like
and then coming back to WCW, like that was a shit show.
Yeah.
Coming
Steve
back.
Jobs, I absolutely would have picked him to get this spot now because I want to see what he can do.
It had to
I think
be.
he does have a creative mind, but him being back opens up the door to so many other things. Can he smooth over the Sasha and Naomi thing? He absolutely can because he was in charge of NXT when the women's division in WWE was at its strongest. So that could be a game changer for them. It could be a game changer for Karrion Kross to come back now because when he left WWE, he had nothing but praise for WWE.
Johnny
Adam
Gargano.
Cole, we know what Adam Cole thinks. We know what Gargano thinks. There's Keith Lee over in it. There's so many possibilities that like maybe this opens the door to people who never would have come before.
Marco, I want to get your
Punk.
take on this. CM Punk, right? Marco, I want to get your take on this in just a second, but I also want to throw out another question that I was talking to Tom about this yesterday, and you kind of alluded to it just now, Tom. Like, with all of the guys and all of the girls that we've seen go from WWE/NXT, a lot of those were really from NXT, and switching over to AEW, how much does this change the perception, taking John Laurinaitis and Bruce Pritchard out of control, taking Vince out of control, period, and putting in Triple H, who, of course, as we've already mentioned, Black and Gold NXT was the father of that. How much does this change the perception of now? Maybe a lot of these AEW guys, when their contracts wrap up, are going to say, maybe I should head on back down to to Stamford. Guys like Andrade, guys like Adam Cole, even some people that, like Tom, you said, haven't been signed yet. I think it's very interesting that Johnny Gargano hasn't signed. He's been very quiet on the free
Smartest man
agency.
in wrestling.
I think it's very interesting how this all kind of lines up. But Marco, give us your thoughts on Triple H.
Definitely excited. I'm with Tom on that. Definitely excited to see him, see what he can do. I don't think it's going to be a super fast turnaround. It's going to be in the business world or in the corporate world, you have your 60, your 30, 60, 90 plan. So 30 days, 60 day, 90 days. So it's going to be a 90-day turnaround. I see it as it's not going to be an overnight thing that changes. I think Anthony, maybe you mentioned this earlier. You still have to play out the storylines of SummerSlam. Anything that was going into SummerSlam, you have to finish out. Anything that's after that is up in the air, depending on, we'll see how SummerSlam goes and, what storylines end and what ones continue. But for the time being right now, it's too early to say he'll be successful in this role. Like you have to give it time. It's not, Rome wasn't built in a day,
Right.
I hate that term, but it's the truth. So, I think you'll see changes, just not right at this moment. We've seen a little bit on Raw, opened up with a brawl and, that was kind of out of nowhere. So still need to work on the camera cuts, but if gets the axe, then that will probably happen.
Kevin
Dunn, yeah. So, but yeah, I'm definitely. Oh, jeez,
God.
I hate his teeth.
Thankfully, the audio listeners are not seeing the picture that we're seeing right now of.
Hopefully there'll be a lot more trees in Stamford, Connecticut.
Yes, maybe if he does lose his job, he'll definitely be able to go build dams on his on his time. So
Goddamn.
Mean.
Goddamn.
So mean.
It's true. But yeah, I think he'll definitely be successful. And we spoke about this. He's not under the regime, under Vince McMahon's rule. He's under Stephanie, his wife. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Having your wife be the boss and running it by her and her going, nah, I don't like that. Do something else.
Does NXT go back to Triple H's vision for it? Because this wasn't his vision for it.
No
Once
way.
it went to USA Network.
Well, that's Shawn Michaels now. He's kind of running NXT.
Once it went to USA Network is when Vince started to meddle, and it became less of what Triple H's vision was. We're going to see changes to NXT again.
We cannot afford to go back to the black and gold.
No,
as much as we thought. As much as you love the black and gold NXT,
not going to say this. This is not Hunter's vision of what NXT should be.
I don't care if this is not Hunter's vision.
Right.
First of all,
now it's
Triple H is going to be way too consumed on Raw and SmackDown to worry about NXT. That's
Shawn
first
Michaels.
of all.
No, Shawn Michaels.
Second of all, hold on. the fact is they cannot afford give me how many people are under the age of, let's say, 30 that are actual stars in the WWE that can carry the flag. Give me a rough number, maybe 3 right now. There is no one that the WWE has outside of maybe Theory, maybe a Braun Breaker, NXT, that can really go ahead and be that figurehead that, once we lose Roman and once we lose Brock and Becky and Bianca and all these different names, you don't have someone that's going to carry that flag. What do you think? Johnny Gargano at almost 40 years old is going to be carrying the WWE World Championship 10 years from now? We need to start thinking about the future here. That's why the Next in Line program, even Triple H saying, as much as Tom wants to disagree on it, that training the football players are a lot easier than training the independent players, independent wrestlers rather. They cannot afford to go back to the black and gold. As much as we want to see it, much as we want the brand that is for ourselves, there's no way that you can.
Dude, the black and gold produced stars. It wasn't Hunter's fault. He was giving them stars that they didn't know how to make work and tried to change them on a main roster.
How many stars?
Dude, how many people were over in NXT that just flopped when they got to the main roster? Aleister Black, Keith Lee, Adam Cole.
You forget that NXT is a very niche market. This is for the independent wrestling fan, which is a small
NXT is not going to be what it is now. I'm not saying it's going back to black and gold, but it's not going to be what it is now in 6 months. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see. We'll see what the googly eye kid can work out.
The googly eye kid.
It's some kind of a mix between what it used to be and what it is now. That's all.
You know what? I mean, me and Anthony talked about this last week. We actually, it's gotten a lot better. It's I mean, as far as like the storylines go, the in-ring work, the promo stuff, like we definitely see a difference. We were talking about it a lot last week, like more than we thought we would.
We wanted to bring back the NXT report in a positive light because of how good the show's been. This is kind of the case of what, as wrestling fans, you always want to get on these podcasts or just have discussions in situations that are way too early to even talk about these, situations. Like right now, we're talking about Triple H and how he's doing as the head of creative. Meanwhile, we've only seen one show that really was written before Triple H.
Fire him.
Fire him already. Get someone else.
Fire him already. But this is the same thing that we were doing for NXT 2.0 when, you first saw the change because there were all these fans from Black and Gold who transferred over to 2.0 to see what it was all about. And then it dwindled down as they saw that it was not for them. But now you're starting to see a lot of these talent, and I know I'm getting off topic here, that are coming into their own, like Braun Breaker, Solo Sikoa, Cameron Grimes, Toxic Attraction, all these really great talents who weren't doing well early on in NXT are really becoming, and you can see that maybe these are going to be some impact players in the next 5 to 10 years. So if you're listening to this or you're watching this, give NXT 2.0 another chance because now we're almost a year that this has been 2.0. It's so insane to think about. Give it another chance. That's all I have to say on that. Any other thoughts on Triple H? Was there any other outside the ropes topics that we haven't mentioned yet? I feel like that's really it. Just the 3 big names: McMahon.
AEW signed this guy named VKM.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's for tomorrow night AEW wrap-up show. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Let me ask you guys this question: what does this do to guys like Taker and Austin, these legends who have loyalty to McMahon? He's not in charge now. If they wanted to go to AEW and do something, they now can. They have loyalty to Vince.
They have loyalty to Triple H.
Yeah, they don't have that same.
They wrestled with the guy for how many years?
The overgiver is all.
Still don't have that.
The time is drawing near.
Lukewarm Steve Austin.
I mean, look,
Steve Austin.
Brock already almost walked out with Vince leaving.
Yeah.
Well, that's Brock, though.
Well, I have some choice words for for Mr. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
There when we get to that, because that's BS.
I agree. I don't disagree at all.
Hey, I'll stay, but I mean, it's not quite as much BS as what Sasha and Naomi did because at least he came back and did business. Yeah. But
yeah, he came back because obviously Paul Heyman.
Face God, I'm God. God damn it.
Yeah, I guess
Brock angry.
When we get to Brock, I'm gonna lay something out for you guys that you may or may not have forgotten.
Good old cock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that we have forgotten because of how much news there's. You just think of, and before we move on, because we have a lot of collar and elbow news to talk about, you think about where we were not too long ago with Sasha and Naomi. I'm pretty sure that was like the first big story that broke out, just period. Everything with Sasha and Naomi, not just WWE, but AEW, just the entire wrestling line. Like, this was really one of those first stories. From now, where we are, all the way back to Sasha and Naomi, just look at how much has changed in the wrestling landscape. Whether you want to talk about AEW, you want to talk about WWE, inside the ring, outside the ring. This is such an interesting time to be a wrestling fan. I know that, young Anthony and all of that.
Yeah.
But I know, young Anthony, all of that, I haven't experienced a lot of wrestling, but to me,
you're right. You're right.
This is one of the most intriguing times in wrestling history.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys, like what you feel about that. You've lived much more, but like for me, hands down, nothing comes close to this. This is the most interested I've been in wrestling because of everything that's happening outside of it, because so many people that you grew up knowing, Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie, all these different names are now starting to switch, and you're starting to see one of the real first changes of the guard in the WWE. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think it's...
No, you're absolutely right.
No, it
absolutely
is.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is a monumental time in wrestling. Like you never thought you'd see anything like this happening at all. Like a complete regime change for the WWE. But I am going to say this: we still have the TV 14 rating coming down the pike. So that's It starts with SummerSlam. We talked about this on our group chat.
They go back up.
Yes,
but it was actually reverted back to
changed.
TV.
Yep.
Oh, they changed it to TV.
Oh,
I don't know if it's changed since then, but as of I saw, it was still PG. I still think it's going to be. You're going to get blood in the main event.
Dude,
you're going to
make a decision, or get off the pot already.
But the other thing too is like, one question: where's MJF?
Oh my God! Get out of here! Fuck out of here!
He's in Tony's butthole.
While Tom looks for the grade, we have hit an hour and 1 minute here just talking about outside the ropes. I think it's time that we move on a little bit.
60-minute man.
Woo! 60-minute man.
As of now,
we started right from the top there. What is that? PG. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
TV PG.
Let's play it safe.
I still think we'll get some changes, but we'll
do
see.
too.
I'll ask my mom if I can watch it.
Mommy, we got Summerslam. Can I check it out, please? No, it's TV 14. Go back to your room. Let's look at some of these comments real quick before we move on. Acefield is in the chat. Great show so far, guys. Was excited to hear what you guys would say about the Vince stuff. Happy to hear the full squad back with Boney in living color. If you guys are watching, make sure to subscribe. And just a quick reminder before we go on, because Tom will beat the shit out of me if I don't say it. Be sure to watch us on Twitch to get a chance to win a Kenny Omega AEW shop exclusive action figure. We have a lot of different people who are with us in Twitch right now. We have Mom Jeans, Aimbot was with us.
That's
Tyson
Anakin
was with us.
Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker, so many different people. Make sure, if you haven't already, get your entries, because you are going to want that exclusive AEW figure. I have a Kenny Omega figure, but I can promise you that one is 10 times better. I would swap it out if I could, but I can't.
I'm gonna say this too. Tom might not beat your ass, but he does look like a guy that knows some guys.
He knows a guy who knows a guy.
Knows a guy, or knows a couple guys that might come in beat the shit out of you. So
I'd never hurt this guy.
Anyway,
I mean, he wouldn't, but there's some guys I would.
Well, I know a guy who is about to move on to our next segment. That is yours truly, and we are about to get into news from inside the ropes, and that is with our next segment.
Collar and elbow.
I missed that seductive video.
I got a fan in the chat. I just had to point it out. What's up, Adam?
See, I told you. See, he has a guy.
my guy.
He's got a
And he
Adam
will
is his
be
guy.
out of here.
So this is your burner account? Oh, cool.
Yeah, right. did anyone see him like move to the side to start typing? Anyways,
That guy has actually bought an OG Fig Kid shirt from PWTs.
Oh, well,
So if
unless
we
we get
ever
out toilet
see-
paper.
if we ever look at the statistics on Pro Wrestling Tees and we see one OG Fig Kid shirt that is sold, that is
There's
from
at least
Adam G.
two because I bought one.
So
all right, we got two.
that,
so that means Tom bought two.
J Bone has one.
So that means like because I ran out of toilet paper. So that means
Oh, damn.
Running low, might have to get another $20 to get another one. But, all right,
I
collar
said
and
I
elbow.
missed you, J Bone.
Let's get into it. Only a few topics
Not that
to
guy.
discuss on this because listen,
Told you.
although there is not a lot to discuss outside of Vince, we were expecting a whole different type of episode today, folks. We have SummerSlam coming up in a few days, and we need to give our predictions. We're going to do that in just a few moments, but first I want to run through some quick stories. The main story that didn't have to do with any of the McMahon-Helmsley faction, if you will, has to do with Brock himself. And it does have to do with Vince still, because just the whole wrestling world is revolved around this. You get the news on Friday that Vince McMahon is retiring. The tweet, I still cannot believe that he released that in a tweet. God. He retires, and Stephanie becomes in charge. And all of a sudden, Brian Alvarez says that sources say Brock Lesnar has left SmackDown. And he said along the lines of, if he goes, I go. We were expecting to watch Friday Night SmackDown with no mention of Brock. They were going to have to shift the plans of Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns on SummerSlam. There were rumors that Goldberg would be brought in to replace Brock Lesnar. All of this crazy nonsense. And then we get to the main event of Theory and the Usos versus the Street Profits and Madcap Moss. Match ends, and Brock Lesnar comes out. And he attacks Theory, throws him on the briefcase. Theory took a great bump on that F5, by the way. Face first. Really nice bump there. And Brock versus Roman has been reconfirmed for SummerSlam. And it just goes to show you that you really got to take these inside reports and all of this with a grain of salt. Of course, most of the time when you get these reports, they are correct. But here's my thing, and I'll let you guys discuss this. But I want to give what I've been thinking on this. Like, you know, you get the news that Brock left the building, and of course, it's a weird situation. No one knows what's going on. And then Brock obviously comes back. Why didn't the sources that all these reporters have get the news that Brock was coming back? Like, if you got the news that Brock left, those same people must have saw Brock backstage getting ready to F5 Theory. So
because they're getting worked, bro.
Walked, bro.
Say that again, Tom.
Maybe he got back 10 minutes before or 5 minutes before.
Yeah, was that 8 o'clock? What was it before?
It probably did. He probably just showed back up like, all right.
Yeah,
The referee's in the ring to Theory, like, Brock's coming back, take the F5.
Well, yeah, so you got to think that was what, like before SmackDown started,
right?
So 8 Eastern, and then it closes at 10 Eastern. So that was like literally 2 hours of negotiating on their part to get him back. I mean, literally, probably everyone called. They probably called Vince and said, "Hey, Vince."
2 hours of negotiation. Vince probably made the call, like you said, and said, "Hey, I still own this company. I still have to get your ass back there."
Or Paul Heyman. I've seen a lot of rumors that Paul Heyman had some, which is
Paul
probably the
Bell,
most like realistic thing because he was actually there in attendance, and he probably talked to him for about 2 hours or whatever, and got him to come back and all that stuff. More money may have been thrown at him. Who the hell knows?
Oh, I'm sure money was definitely thrown in.
So
we'll buy you another slaughterhouse, pal.
But my thing for Brock, like we're probably are we going to get to the what he supposedly said before he walked out or when he walked out?
If he leaves, I leave.
If he leaves, I leave. That type of thing. Like, all right, he has that much loyalty to Vince McMahon.
Yes,
I mean, I'm not going to question his loyalty and stuff like that. But who's his wife?
The one who got $7.5 million? Oh, no, wait.
Oh, God.
Do you know who his wife is?
Sable.
His wife is Sable. And do you know what Sable did back in 1999?
No.
She showed her tits.
No. Well, yeah, that too. But I'm gonna read this. Ready? Because it's a recent article. This is like maybe last year. They went into some detail for some reason. Maybe because they knew this company knew that something was going to happen. In June of 1999, Sable quit the WWF. I remember that. And filed a $110 million lawsuit against the WWF, citing allegations of, guess what? Sexual harassment and unsafe working conditions. So you're telling me that you have this much loyalty to Vince McMahon and not that much loyalty to your wife, who's had like ongoing legal battles with this company?
He's a puppeteer, though.
That's insane to me.
WWE. He's playing WWE.
That's crazy.
He saw the opportunity to strike to get a couple more doll hairs, and he got it. You know,
it's a possibility.
That's what happened. I mean, he's a businessman. Brock is not a dumb guy. He might look like a dumb guy. He's a smart guy. All right, you know he's
got his own steak rub now. Did you guys see that?
Oh yeah, he rubs that steak real well too.
Yep. Yeah, that's just weird. It's just crazy to me that like his own wife has known, like I said, like came out and said like things about the company that he's working for, but it's just insane to me, like that whole Brock thing.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I don't really fault the guy. You know, I mean, like, and I think he does have that little bit of loyalty to Vince, but I think he also saw it as a potential
opportunity.
Right? Something. But we'll talk about it. But I think it's going to fall back on him. So.
Well, I want to get to this comment from Ace here. Best part about this: McAfee and Cole seemed so relaxed at the announce table. Even mentioned, we thought he was. A nod to reports that he left makes fans feel respected.
Yeah.
I don't know, this whole thing with the Brian Alvarez and Sean Ross Sapp getting these reports, and to be fair, like Fightful, Wrestling Observer, they get pretty good reports. Like we just saw yesterday, Edge was expected to be back yesterday, and there was something with his travel or whatever it may be, and obviously he didn't show up, and Fightful was the ones that reported that. So they get their news right. I just think it's like strange how you get so much information from all these sources and no one told them.
I think he showed about 15 minutes before it was time to go out.
I think they probably told him. They might have figured it out an hour and a half before, and it said, "Don't come back though until 10 minutes before."
Yeah, it's a possibility too.
He was supposed to open the show. He wasn't supposed to close the show.
Yeah,
in the original script. So,
and they had to change plans on the fly. But that we are getting Brock versus Roman at SummerSlam, and we're going to be talking all about SummerSlam.
Can I make a hot take?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, you want to do a hot? Oh, we haven't done a hot take in so long. Jesus Christ! Welcome, back, J-Bone. We'll welcome you back with a hot take from Tom.
Hot takes here. Get your hot takes here.
Saturday night will be the last time we see Brock Lesnar in WWE.
I agree.
You couldn't save that for when we did the predictions in 5 minutes. God damn it!
Say it again. Jeez.
All right, I'll give you the sound effect later, and then I'll act surprised. But
okay.
All right. Before we get into all of our hot takes and all of that, I do have a quick little segment here before we move on, and that is
Lightning round.
It is the lightning round, as I get the graphic up. It is the lightning round. Tom has the timer ready to go. So yesterday we celebrated 20 years of Rey Mysterio, the master of the 619, the biggest little man, whatever you want to call him. Rey Mysterio celebrated 20 years in the WWE yesterday. And I wanted to give Rey a little love because he is one of the all-time greats. So I'll throw it to you guys. What is your favorite either Rey moment or Rey match? Could be from WCW, could be from WWE. And you know what? Keep it to WWE because I feel like it'll be a lot easier if it was WCW. But From WWE, what was your favorite moment or match? We'll shine some light on Ray. Is anyone ready to go?
I'll go first. All
right, J-Bone, you got Tom. You got the timer ready to go?
I'm ready. Yeah.
I'll go quick.
Here we go.
Yeah, my favorite moment, it actually hasn't happened, especially if it's in WWE, but my favorite moment is when he finally retires.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. No respect for what? Damn.
Well, it's the lightning round. We can't get too much into that, but Jesus Christ, J-Bone. No love for Ray?
No respect.
Right. Not fan.
Tom, you want to go, Tom?
Sure.
Go for it.
I'm not even going to use the timer. I'm just going to agree with J-Bone. He gave us.
Damn.
I told you last night I was never a Mysterio fan.
No, I know, but like, there's not one match.
I don't have a favorite match of his. I never liked his matches.
What?
So, okay,
not even.
The thing was the time he did the 619. All right, yay.
What?
Oh, this is the disrespect.
This is the worst lightning
I
round.
didn't know J-Bone felt the same way as me. I love it.
You can't even.
All right, Marco, please save the segment.
I prefer if he does the 6-9.
Please give your.
My favorite thing is getting to see Aaliyah on TV. All right, I changed
that's Vince's. That's Vince's move. The 6-9. Booyaka, booyaka. All right. Damn. I mean, we're relegating it to WWE. So I mean, I think probably WrestleMania 22 was when he won the world title from Randy Orton. Awesome match. Definitely. I mean, I did actually recently watch Summerslam. I forget what Summerslam it was, where he faced Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental title. That match was awesome as well. I mean, dude, him and Batista, that storyline was freaking awesome. I mean, so much. I mean, you guys got to go back and relive some of Rey Mysterio's greatest moments. I don't know what to tell you.
What?
The disrespect, though, is awful.
I like some of those moments, Marco.
Check out this Friday though. When the Shot of Nostalgia talks about Bash at the Beach '96, Ray versus Dean Malenko. Good shit.
It is.
Good match there.
Halloween.
See, that's why I have to limit it to WWE, because then we would be talking about positive Ray.
Yeah,
that's the only time he was good. So,
all right, Tom, you got my timer ready?
Yeah, go.
I was never a huge fan of Ray growing up, but I always respected him.
It doesn't matter who you are.
You see, you can't do this. I have 20 seconds left. I like when he won the WWE Championship. I think that was a really nice moment, even though they soiled it with Cena later on in the night. But I will say an underrated Rey Mysterio match has to be the versus The Undertaker at Royal Rumble 2010. Great match. Check it out.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Hey, you want to know how much I hate Rey Mysterio? I have a back here I got all the figures. I've got every WWE champion. My only basic out of that is a Rey Mysterio.
Ridiculous. All right, let me go through these comments here. We have Ace saying, "Love his teaming with Edge back in 2002. That's when I was born. For the inaugural title against Edge and Chris Benoit. Kurt Angle versus Ray at SummerSlam 2002 is my favorite opener. I do actually like that match.
So good.
We have Adam G says Giant tossing him into the trailer and
that was a good part.
That was a land dart.
I agree here with Nick.
Nick Storm says, play the new 2K showcase. Boom, Ray is busting.
I thoroughly enjoyed playing that showcase, and it made me find a new respect for
man.
Mysterio.
The tribute match with him and Shawn Michaels, the tribute match with Eddie Guerrero was freaking awesome.
That was good, too.
Well, maybe I'll change my pick to that.
Be on a pole match or ladder match, whatever it was.
Dominic, the custody of Dominic match.
Ace Field agrees with me. Ray versus Taker for the title. Underrated big versus small match. Yeah. It's a good match. Definitely check. Yeah, you're yawning over there. How good did my Judgment Day look yesterday against Rey Mysterio? Now that we're on the topic, holy shit!
Barf.
Shaking your head, J-Bone.
We got Rhea back in action.
I thought they were. I thought they were done for after that. I thought it was done with the feud. Once Rhea comes back, boom, we're rolling.
Rhea's rolling. Great. She's looking powerful, strong.
We're getting Edge is going to come back. We're getting Edge and Judgment Day in the fall. I'm taking it. I'm I'm loving
Yeah,
it.
man. The Judgment Day rolls on, guys.
They roll on.
Yeah.
Live to see another day is the Judgment Day.
My judgment
Hey.
is they suck.
All right. All right.
Are we segueing into Judgment Day? Because I have an alternate storyline for the Judgment Day.
Do we want to talk about it real quick?
Does it involve them leaving?
Oh,
No.
Look at you. All right. You know what? We'll do a quick one. We usually don't change up the format, but because we're about to get into the SummerSlam predictions, let's do a little bit of match of the week. Marco, well, I only put match of the week because I thought Judgment Day versus the Mysterios was a very good match yesterday.
Yeah.
But Marco, go ahead. What was your Judgment Day plans?
So it's just kind of like fantasy booking, but I know we talked about, possibly Dominic Mysterio joining the ranks of Judgment Day, because it kind of looks like that, past couple of weeks have been kind of courting Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, but what if it's the other way around?
I was hoping for that. I'm not gonna lie.
What if Rey Mysterio joins?
I was just thinking about that. I might change my mind about Rey if he becomes heel right here. But
Yeah, I was watching. I'm like, I can see, it's obviously he's gonna be retiring soon. He's never been heel. He's always
never.
been a face.
Yep.
Ray turning heel would be like Vince's new
turning on his son.
paralegal.
Yeah. What that's a possibility. Like he could turn heel in his last.
Well, wasn't he
days
with
of,
that group in WCW when he was unmasked? Was he
Filthy
heel for
Animals.
that? Filthy Animals.
they
Well,
weren't-
WWE, I guess he hasn't.
No,
No,
so, like,
WWE hasn't. They were just had like baby faces with edges.
like I think it only works to put Dominic over as like a future star if you want.
Yeah.
Is to Rey Mysterio put him over.
It's the only
as
way
the
that you
heel.
can sell anyone on Dom at this point.
In
I
a
feel
few-
like
He's a heel.
Yeah. That's all I had.
Yeah.
I think
I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
if
I would
and he
take
had the
it.
purple on too, like he was wearing a purple mask, like his whole getup was with purple accents and stuff like that. I don't know. It's kind of.
Oh, what if he wears the Halloween Havoc?
And they gave that to him. That was the other thing. The purple Halloween Havoc.
I don't know how I would feel about it, but like if them giving the Halloween Havoc gear was because of that, Judgment Day is the best storytelling in wrestling. They already are.
It'll change my mind and like have Ray unmasked.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah.
like I'm done
I like
with this
that.
bullshit.
I'm
Like,
liking the sound of that, pal.
I'm tired of this COVID bullshit. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Before we move on, Tom, we were both at Raw yesterday. Talk about your Raw experience. How'd you enjoy it?
It was long. I'll say that. It felt like I was there for like 8 hours watching that episode of Raw.
It felt like that watching it from home.
Yeah, exactly.
It started off okay, and then it just got long. And I think it was because it was the way it was booked, because of the way they had to book it. Obviously Triple H wants to change things, and he's going to change things. But you got to you come in this weekend, so he just can't come in and turn everything upside down right away. Plus, you can't do that with people who are invested in WWE now. You can't turn off those fans now. You've got to start building new characters, new stories, so they stay invested while bringing people back. So that's why we kind of got stuck. Like, it kind of seemed like he did nothing to further any storylines. He did that. Like, there should have never been 2 pull aparts on one show. That's dumb.
Yeah, I did. It was Pullport City.
I thought it was cool.
And
I mean, it's better than seeing 20-minute promos. Like, if that was last week, we would have seen Becky and Bianca talking for like 15 minutes. At least they just get out there.
It just felt like a show to like advance, get into SummerSlam so that he could start over. And I bet we see like Bailey come back after the night after SummerSlam. We're gonna see like a couple of people
definitely
come
see
back.
a lot of shakeups.
You might see who else? Somebody else has been out for a while.
Back.
Yeah, like we're gonna see something happen next week. I think that puts more of a stamp on it that it's a new beginning.
Yeah,
I don't think this week is just, hey, let's put on long wrestling matches and get through to get to where we can kind of start resetting it.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point
The
overall.
wrestling was good though, but then again, the wrestlers never really, it's not the talent's fault for bad booking.
It's they can't. It would be look way more dumb if they just like, hold on, week before
Right.
SummerSlam,
A week before
let's do what we want to do.
Yeah. No, you gotta finish out the week. You gotta
Yeah.
go through the motions and do what was planned essentially. And then-
I've read so many people saying, "Oh, how great Raw was last night," but what was great about it? I don't see what was great.
It's
I
not
thought it
the
was
case. So I was also at Raw, which I'll give my experience a little bit. It's not the case that I thought it was a great show because it wasn't really a great
No,
show. Like
it was good.
It was a good show though, and I think
Yeah.
what people are really talking about as far as it being a good show is the fact that you could see that there was a difference. There was a lot of people both on social media and a lot of group chats that I've been in that they've mentioned that there hasn't been like a noticeable change. And like to say that is like, did you not watch like the first segment that you go right into a cold open with Logan Paul and The Miz getting into a brawl? Like, absolutely there's definitely a change to it. I was telling Tom, it felt like at least the first half of the show flew by because there was so much more in-ring action. And what I really enjoyed was the fact that you saw a lot of storytelling blending in throughout segments. Like something that started in one segment, paid off in another segment. Like, the Bloodline and Austin Theory. An hour later, you see the Usos super kicking him. Or even just the Judgment Day stuff throughout the night. What I will say is, I wish that, obviously they did a little more stuff with the women's wrestling. I feel like that's going to be something that they're going to have to put more of an emphasis on because 1 6-minute match and a quick brawl, obviously there's going to be some backlash there if they keep up with that.
Keep up with that. That'll change.
But
there's also no noise piped in. It didn't seem like either.
No.
Yeah, I know y'all were watching
that.
But it didn't seem like there was like noise popped in like the "Who's Your Daddy" chant. That seemed like that was like
that's all organic. And
let
me tell you, the best part of the night was when Seth finally came out at the end. The building had kind of like fell asleep for an hour before that, but man, did they wake up! When
they woke up for Seth.
So like, could you audibly hear the? Whoa,
oh my god, dude! It was so loud.
Because you could hear that was like one thing. That was one thing I was like not certain about, but because you could hear.
The biggest tops of the night for me were Roman, Ray, and Seth. Those were like the three guys that really got the biggest reaction.
Yeah. How was the in-person reaction to your daddy's not here anymore?
That was awesome.
Everything landed. All the jokes landed about Vince.
That was but that was one of the takeaways I got was that the weaving of storylines throughout the night, and that's something that the old NXT did.
Yep.
If you go back and watch the old NXTs where Triple H was in charge, a lot of the storylines would kind of like it would be a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Or a beginning and then an end. So they set it up in the beginning of the show. The match might have taken place towards the end of the show, but there was something in the middle that was kind of connecting.
Like on first act, second act, third act.
I
think they do that. Would be great.
Guys, I do agree with that there, but like I said, it was just a filler show to get us through SummerSlam.
It's a go home show.
See more of that. Hopefully,
it was definitely the best go home show that we've seen.
I was about to say that.
In a while.
I was about to say that.
It got you hyped up for the show. A lot of these matches I didn't give a shit about. Now I'm really looking forward to them.
Right.
The other thing too is before you go is the commentary definitely a lot better.
Really?
They seem like they seem like they were having a little bit more of a conversation than anything.
Good.
Like even Corey Graves sounded a little bit more excited.
Was it more wrestling like play by play too?
Like
Vince would never
it was a you could definitely tell a noticeable difference. That you could tell there wasn't anyone feeding lines as they said. The other thing I noticed too is Alexa Bliss, her shedding that I'm going to be at the top of the card.
Yes.
You're right.
Would that have happened if
probably
he
not?
Shall not be named was still in charge?
Not.
No.
That's a great point, Marco. I love
that.
And
when it comes down to
I'll say this in person, that screen on the stage is amazing.
Yeah,
I love
it.
Visual. That stage needs to be higher, but that seeing that screen on TV, that stage doesn't do it
Yeah.
justice. And then when Alexa Bliss came out, they had a life-size like big picture of her just up there. It was beautiful.
Oh my
Of course,
God.
he thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Look,
She's a married woman.
You want to see?
real quick, when it comes to Alexa Bliss, I'm happy that they are finally pushing her, and I feel like the whole Lily doll situation is just to sell. Like it's not going to be part of her gimmick anymore.
Basically said that last night.
Yeah, she's just really going to be holding it to sell the. And you saw her like interacting with the fans. Yeah, Tom has a nice picture of the Alexa Bliss Titantron.
Did you guys see her Instagram post today?
Jesus,
Tom,
It's Mrs.
Tom, what was
Cabrera
your match
to
of the
you.
week before we move on?
I guess I'll pick the Judgment Day match against Finn.
Nice.
I
I will
have
do
to.
the same.
That was the
J-Bone,
most
what was your
exciting match
of the week?
there last night, and I love seeing Finn in person.
J-Bone, match of the week.
I'm gonna go with the Bloodline versus Street Profits and Riddle.
Good pick. And Marco?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one too. That was pretty amazing.
But
But
got some
the
color in that match.
Judgment Day's a close second. The Judgment Day match was
I'll
actually
take it.
really.
I'll take
Who's
it.
this Mom Jeans person?
Mountain says Raw was so great last night. It's been good, but last night felt special at the mecca of sports entertainment.
Yeah, I didn't get a special feeling at all being there.
Wow.
Hold on, Tom. You were on Instagram Live. And
Oh,
you
okay.
were,
Yeah.
Before the show, yes.
Oh,
Before the
this
okay,
is
let
so
me
great.
rephrase.
The show hasn't
Let
even
me
started yet.
rephrase.
It's not
Shut
even
up, young
sold
one.
out yet.
He's a
Everyone's not
WWE
even here yet.
fanboy. We knew
You could
it.
feel
Let
the
me
energy.
rephrase. Before the show, there was electricity in the crowd that
You
felt.
could feel the electricity. Not everyone's here yet, but you could feel the
Shut
electricity.
up. There was an electricity in the crowd before, and then once the show started, it kind of went away by the end of the show. And then Seth Rollins came out, and everything was like lit up again.
Oh yeah,
All
it's
right.
freaking like
Well-
3 hours in, and you're like, you want to go home
Yeah, you
already?
finally
Were
need
there
to
any?
wake up from something.
Did they do a dark match at all or no?
No,
There was
they
some main
didn't.
events. No, not
Was it?
afterwards. They
Then
filmed some main event matches. Then it was over, and the announcer was like, "Go home."
Yeah.
Sweet.
T-Bar was over on main event, by the way.
Holy shit, was that guy over on main
Very
event?
over.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, look, there's only one more main discussion that we need to get into, and it's the topic that we thought going into Friday was going to be our main reason to have this show. The SummerSlam is this weekend, folks,
Yeah.
and there is a good card ahead of us that we need to discuss. And I say we get right into it. So let us start with our first match that we're going to talk about. And you know what? Just for J-Bone, I'll get it out of the way so that we could discuss it and move on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold off on that because you'll see what I'll do in a minute. Instead, I'll go with another type of match like this. Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin is going to be happening at SummerSlam. I'm going to be honest. This is a match that they have done a pretty decent job in hyping up. I think the story is there. Last Friday, we didn't even mention anything that happened on SmackDown. Goes to show you how long that felt ago. They had a nice little segment with Happy Corbin attacking Pat McAfee, and then McAfee cut a good promo. So overall, I think they've been doing a decent job in hyping up this story. Any major thoughts on how they've been handling this Pat McAfee and Corbin?
Before we get to our SummerSlam predictions, I just want to remind everybody I am the Money in the
there
Bank
it
title
is.
holder.
We didn't even address this. We should address this. The fact that although Tom is our champion, and that is going to stay for at least for now, J-Bone won the Money in the Bank at the Money in the Bank predictions. So he is able to cash in whenever he wants to. And me and Marco have already come up with a way to go over the this little cash in situation. So, we're gonna have to see what happens at SummerSlam, but we may have a new champion regardless, folks.
Depending on how busy our show is next week.
Yeah, that's that's true.
I might cash in next week. I'll just say that.
You see, look at you. You're
Should
like
be a real man and
you're
just
Van
try and
Damme
win
or
on Saturday
Cena
night.
announcing your cash in.
Yeah. I'm going to call shot like RVD.
Right.
I'm JBS. Yeah. Anyways, as far as Corbin and Pat McAfee,
All right. So prediction time. Who wants to start off with predictions?
I'll go Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee. Marco, who do you think?
Yeah, Pat McAfee. I don't see Corbin winning this.
All right, J-Bone.
Pat.
And I will also go with Pat McAfee.
Watch Corbin win.
Yeah, right. No, he's got to win. There's no way that they could let Corbin win this one. So yeah, I'll give it to.
And that's why I say. I mean, like, we know Pat's gonna win. It's the story's fine, and then I find it interesting. I find it interesting, they were teammates and roommates, and
Yep.
They slept in the same bunk beds together, all that good stuff. But
they got lucky with that storyline. Like,
yeah,
it just so happens
really
that they
lucky.
were teammates. There was no way that this was in the plans.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Fine.
it's fine.
All right, well, let's move on to another match here. Let's see what we can talk about. Let's go into this one because it's going to have some implications for the main event. We have Bobby Lashley defending his United States Championship against Theory. So this is definitely going to factor into the rest of the show due to the fact that Theory is holding on to that briefcase. So this gets people thinking, will he be holding on to the United States Championship going into a potential cash-in? As I look for the graphic for there it is. I couldn't find the graphic at first. J-Bone, you especially wanted to talk about this match because of the implications with Theory. Give us your thoughts on it.
Well, I mean, this could go a couple different ways. I don't want to tip my hand too soon, but I think this is gonna definitely play into what happens in the main event, kind of like what we saw at Money in the Bank, right? I think this match could be potentially could be a show opener. Just kind of get it out of the way, kind of thing. It'd be a championship match to start off the show. Get the crowd behind Bobby Lashley. Really put some heat behind Theory. But I think, and actually, Acefield kind of mentioned some things too I want to talk about. I don't see him winning the title. I mean, obviously he's going to still carry the Money in the Bank. I think they're going to still put it on Bobby because Bobby is he's really doing good as a babyface. Like he's a good person to have as like a representative for the kids and things like that. Like kids like seeing this big hulking guy. I don't want them flipping flopping the title back and forth, so plus it'll add a little bit of intrigue if he decides to cash in that night. But I think I'm going to go with Bobby keeping it. It could even be Bobby keeps it. It could be even like a Theory wins by DQ. I hate to put that in anybody's heads here, but they haven't really been doing a whole lot of DQ finishes on pay-per-view. So I'm gonna go Bobby wins clean.
All right, Tom, you want to get into this one?
I'm gonna say Bobby wins, but I got a little more to say. You want to talk about terrible booking last night? Is you have this intrigue with Dolph Ziggler coming back. And then all of a sudden he gets thrown into a tag team match with AJ Styles. They should have left him alone and let him keep doing what he was doing until they get to where they're going. My opinion, my gut feeling is Dolph Ziggler, Austin Theory is going to go to cash in tomorrow, Saturday night, and Dolph Ziggler is going to cost him the cash in.
Can you save that for later, Tom?
Save it. God damn.
Why do I have to save it?
Because we've got to take the main event. God, Jesus Christ.
Now we got to act surprised when he says it in the main event. God damn it, Tom.
All right. Anyway, so what happens? Bobby or Theory?
Bobby, but it was just terrible booking last night. That was absolutely the worst thing that happened last night, is just throwing Dolph into that tag match.
Marco, you want to go next? You're muted, bud. You're muted. We're live, pal.
Damn. Bobby. There's nothing else to add to that.
Nothing else, just Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Theory winning the title back.
Smooth
I
Bobby.
think he has any use for it. J Bone said, Bobby has a lot more stock in the title, and he looks like a better champion than Theory would be. And I think he's just. We'll wait till the end, but yeah, I have some choice words for Theory and where his career is gonna
Same here.
end up.
All right. Well, I'm also going to go with Lashley to retain the championship. And Tom, you mentioned the whole thing with Dolph Ziggler. This may be a
Hot takes here. Get your hot takes here.
I could care less about what's going on with Ziggler. They have booked this man into such a hole where anything he does, be it putting him with Robert Roode, putting him in the Intercontinental title, giving him random WWE title matches. I don't care about Dolph Ziggler anymore. He's a great in-ring talent, but they're going to have to sell me on, Ziggler being a threat to anyone at this point. Yeah. So I could care less about Ziggler, but
I liked what they had done with him the last couple of weeks, and they just blew it last night.
Well, I'm just happy they're doing something with him. That's not just random tag team. I'll give them that.
Then they threw him into a random tag team anyway. So just flushed it down the toilet. Everything you built.
You got to think the Alpha Academy is they're connected with Theory. They have that tie to Theory and stuff like that. So it's not
makes no sense.
But it's
like where does Styles play?
Marco, you're really stretching here.
Yeah, I'm trying to help out.
You are.
I don't want to bring it to the fact where it still comes down to you to perform and make that whatever they're giving you happen.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put on, I don't want to say Dolph Ziggler isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing, but how many storylines, how many chances can you give somebody until you realize that this person can't get over what you're trying to, portray, essentially. It's not, you can blame booking all you want, but at the same time, you have to go out and do what they tell you, and you have to do it as they want to do it, or as they want you to do it, or take it above and beyond.
I feel like once they started dropping the ball on him, you could tell that he started not really caring. Yeah, because they're not going to care about him. Why care about this? He has his comedy stuff that he does
too. Like I said, you could do booking and blame the booker and all that stuff, but
he's also at the tail end of his career.
Green jacket, gold jacket, who gives a shit?
You can take a
gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a shit?
Look at Dusty with the polka dots. That was supposed to bury Dusty Rhodes. That wasn't supposed to be over. That was supposed to be here, you try to make this work, pal. And guess what? Dusty being the guy that he is, the talent that he is, with all the charisma that he has, got the polka dots over.
Made it work.
And he made it work. So, like I said, you could. I don't blame booking. I think I'm not sure if I said it on the show, on Chick Foley's show. I blame the person in the ring, the performer.
1000%.
If you can't go out there and do what they tell you to do, or give you the tools to do it, you still got to go out there and make it happen. You could do, like I said, you could do it exactly how they want you to do it, or you could take what they gave you and make something even better out of it.
Look at Gunther. That's a perfect example. He took all of the changes. He took all of whatever they wanted him to do. He leaned out. He's doing he's the Intercontinental Champion right now, and he's getting that title a lot more prestige than it has had in the last few years or so. Whereas you look at someone like, not to compare, but Keith Lee, that they put him with the Bearcat gimmick. As weird as it was, I'm sure he could have made Bearcat work.
He could have. He can speak.
If Pete Dunne can make Butch work, I'm sure you can make Bearcat work.
Bearcat was only a nickname. I never saw why people it wasn't the worst.
Plus, he had a more aggressive personality, anyways. I feel like, I don't know. It's not to get into Keith Lee here, but I think it could have worked.
He wanted his chin strap back.
He wanted to be shirtless with a chin strap, and they wouldn't let him
show
do
the
it.
man boobs.
Yeah,
we have Acefield says, good point, Marco. Think about Foley as the original Brown Pajamas Mankind character. He came and established as Cactus Jack and could have pouted, didn't. He put his head down and became legendary for sure. All right.
I have
Let's
brown
move-
pajamas.
I have
Brown pajamas, gold pajamas. Who gives a
I
shit?
have brown underwear, but in one area.
Whoa.
Oh, God.
Whoa.
Moving right
He's
along.
Yeah,
Before we hear more about these underwear, Street Profits versus the Usos is our next match, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very tough match to predict. I'll
for
say
me.
right now.
Not for the reigning defending.
All right, hold
Brock
on. I got to
Lesnar.
build it up first, please. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
We the ones.
The Street Profits, they are teasing dissension in the group. Still have not seen any dissension between the Street Profits, besides the fact that the WWE is telling us that there is. Were they saying that on commentary last night? Were they still kind of teasing it?
I don't remember anything.
Nah.
I kind of tune out commentary.
The only thing they really talk about is not Montez freaking Dawkins being more aggressive.
Yeah.
That's literally all they talk about.
You know,
It's
that
like,
could be
you know,
it. They could be also pushing Dawkins
him
just
up
as much
more.
as they will Ford.
Yeah. So I mean, I could see. I mean, by them doing that, that definitely helps if they do split at some point. It doesn't have to be a heel like Shawn Michaels barbershop window situation. It could be as simple as a New Day thing where they're together and they just amicably split and they go their separate ways. It doesn't. A team doesn't always have to like heel off on each other to break up. You just, make it in a way where, they can have a backstage check and, hey, I want to do this. This is my calling, whatever. And then boom, that's it.
I hope Dawkins does not run away from Montez Ford because there's barbershop windows that could pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you see him? He tried to run away.
Oh boy.
Oh man, Marco, you want to give your pick for this one?
Oh man. This is tough. But I'm gonna. Dang, this is a real tough one. This is a tennis ball. This is a tennis match right here, just going back and forth. I'm gonna go with the Profits.
Oh, the Profits are up, baby.
And we want the smoke. Yeah,
I want the smoke.
I have a. For me personally, this might just be me only. It might not be everyone else's take on this. I just don't see the undisputed tag team championships as prevalent as the undisputed universal championship, and not as prestigious. Not to take anything away from the Usos or anything like that, but I think they know.
Damn, Moose.
On the outside, on the outside of things, there's a world other than the tag team world in the WWE that has proven that Usos might not be the greatest tag team in the world. Yes, within the WWE universe, they are. But, in the wrestling world, no.
Right.
So I think, just calling them the greatest in the world in the end, I don't think as a wrestling fan and you watch everything, that flies with you. And I think they know that, for me personally.
Yeah,
and I
sure.
think they're losing the titles. I think the Profits are winning the titles. That's I mean, we'll get to the later. I mean, obviously we're gonna get to the main event, but I think if there is a title that's going to be lost, it's gonna be the tag team titles.
You know what?
Because you think about all the title defenses on SummerSlam.
No, you're right.
They're not all gonna change.
No, you're absolutely right.
If there is gonna be one, I'm picking this to be the changeover.
The fact that we're getting a rematch. We'll get to you in a second, Tom. The fact that we're getting a rematch is what's really throwing me off, because usually you'll get like a one-off match and then they'll move on. We've seen it before. They built up the Street Profits very well. This is the most story that we've seen in a tag team title match in a long time, folks.
Don't forget about this. Both teams, it's happened to both sides.
Right.
Shoulder off the mat while pinning.
I'm going with the Street Profits as well.
The Profits are up, and we want the smoke.
I think this whole dissension thing is just to throw everybody off.
I didn't want to say that, but
Although it could happen,
It
I don't want it to happen. I feel like the Street Profits work together. Like you can do them separately. It's cool, but like I feel like the Street Profits work so well together. As much as I love Jey Uso's push separately, the Usos work together because they're twins, they're a tag team. As much as I love Montez Ford, and as much as Angelo is even growing on me recently, I always view them as a tag team. So I'm going to go with the Street Profits to win the titles. I think it'll be a feel-good moment, and I think it's time that the Usos lose their titles.
Yeah, I don't want to. This isn't going to really sway anyone, but I want to say this too. You technically don't, like I said, you don't have to split them up in order for them to go solo. Look at the New Day. Look at what Kofi did. Kofi Mania. They didn't have to bring up the New Day for him to win the WWE Championship. They're also together. They celebrated. What's to say? Montez Ford goes solo. I mean, not technically solo, but he can still go for a singles run and still be in a tag team. And you have Montez Ford in that feel-good moment where they started from NXT, worked their way up, and they both. It can happen. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there that you don't need a dissension among a tag team to split them up. Like,
who wants to go next, J-Bone or Tom?
J-Bone.
I'll go next. I just got one. I got a pretty simple thing. This is actually pretty easy for me. And I got something to say to you guys, right? I'm the one, and you, the twos.
Fuck that one up, bud.
Y'all the twos.
You're the twos, and we're
you're the twos, and we the You said it.
I'm the ones. Yeah. Anyways,
they're gonna
go
start throwing up D's next week.
I'm going Street Profits here.
Ooh.
Wow, because I mean, this is why I'm keeping the title, and Jesus.
Maybe this is strategy because we want J-Bone to cash in on you. You ever think of that, Tom?
I say, it's Usos all day.
Wow.
I think this is the first little seam in the crack of the bloodline.
Yeah, that's I said that weeks ago too. I said I feel this summer is going to be it's gonna falter at some point. They can't keep especially now that Vince is gone. Who's to say Triple H was like, I don't like this bloodline storyline. Let's break these MFers up.
It's not best for business.
Yeah, listen.
Let me ask you guys a quick question. It's a little off topic for this match, but how much do you think Vince McMahon will respect what Vince has set up, or do you think he just won't care and he'll change everything he wants to?
Who?
Triple H. As far as like giving names back and changing people.
Oh no, he's gonna go in and do his own thing as far as that goes.
Yeah, he's not gonna keep the same business model.
If he feels like it's I know it's stupid tag like best for business. If it's good creatively,
Yeah.
Because it's interesting because I could see him like trying not to step on Vince too much, but then again, look what Vince McMahon Senior, look what Junior did to Senior.
Mm-hmm. So I hope you don't think Triple H holds a grudge from the curtain call? Dude, he's been waiting for this day forever. you know what Vince McMahon put him through because of he took that fall, not everyone else. Come on.
Yeah.
He has his day coming.
I had this in my notes for tonight, and I never said it before. I'll say it real quick now. I said this is the ultimate payday for Triple H as marrying the boss's daughter has finally paid off.
It's true.
I think you'll see a lot of changes when it comes to Triple H. But I do think that you will see changes that make sense. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the name changes and all of this, as much as we think that taking the Tommaso out of Ciampa is stupid, or the Matt out of Riddle, or the Austin out of Theory,
it is.
Why is it?
Because how many people in real life have one name?
It's not real life. It's not real life.
You can't be Matt Riddle. You can't be Austin.
Are we in real life right now?
No, but it's just dumb that
Kane,
because
Mankind,
Steve Austin with Austin Theory because it's the same name. Stop.
I go by J-Bone.
Jay and Bone.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Like it's just ridiculousness.
It makes them more marketable. That's all it comes down to.
Riddle.
I like Riddle. I like Ciampa.
Riddle.
I like Matt Riddle. I don't like Ciampa. I like.
It doesn't bug me as much. I mean,
I like Ciampa.
So
it is what it is.
It's
I mean, if they go back to it, I'm fine. If they don't, I'm fine
Well,
too.
my whole point was like, I feel like, will we see a lot of these name changes? Like, I think Tommaso will get his name back because it's an easy change. Like, it hasn't really affected his gimmick.
Yeah.
But like Butch, Gunther, if you're expecting these
he's not
changes,
bringing him back. No, he can't do that.
No.
you can't. But also, why would you? Like, it's not affecting anyone. Gunther has made Gunther work.
Yeah, I
You can
agree.
bring back Walter.
I don't think he's going to change characters back. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I just took a Gunther before I started the show, so
I
I've been
took
holding
a
it
Walter.
for 3 hours now. So
But I mean, Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne should stay as Butch, man.
Yeah, it doesn't
Don't
sound
bring back
menacing.
Pete
Pete
Dunne.
just change the character. It's so stupid. Ugh.
Well, yeah, he could easily say that.
just make Ridge be Luke already. All right.
Oh man.
All right.
All right. Well, that was a good little topic there. I'm glad you brought that up. But we do have to get back into these matches, and we got another one for you. It's for the Raw Women's Championship,
Ooh.
a rematch from WrestleMania 38. It is Bianca Belair defending her title against Becky Lynch. This is a match that I think a lot of people are touting as going to be the match of the night. J-Bone's got his Becky.
My Becky Lynch. My Becky
shades
Lynch.
on. Those are usually the Tony shades when I say something stupid, but I'll allow it for tonight. I feel like this is going to be match of the night for sure. A lot of history with these. I saw something on Twitter, and I wanted to bring this up to you guys. Is it safe to call this feud between Becky and Bianca one of the greatest women's storylines of all time?
I wouldn't go that far yet.
In WWE, at least.
It's getting. It's not there yet.
No,
I think it's pretty close.
But I also don't think it's over. So I'm just saying it's not there yet. It's a good story. It's just not there yet. When we get the double switch and then Becky's a face and she's a heel, and it continues that way.
Well, to me, when you're considering like where it started at SummerSlam to where Bianca was on that, rise back to the championship, and it brought her to WrestleMania, and everything in between with, Becky kind of being on that rise back to the top, losing so much and having to, climb her way back. I think this is up. I would say top 5 at least all time. I mean, how many could you really put over this?
Obviously, like Charlotte, Becky, Charlotte, Bianca. Well, I keep on saying Bianca, Charlotte, Sasha. You have to put up there as one of them.
I mean, would you really like? It was
one of
just
the greatest
matches.
I mean, they're the first ever main event of a pay-per-view.
All right, yeah, the first ever, sure.
Hell in a Cell main event. Yeah, I mean, and they're kind of like the two, like, if you want to pick two that were like the superstars of that like women's revolution. Yeah, it's
I'll give you that. Okay,
Sasha and Charlotte. Obviously Trish and Lita. You go back that far, they had a pretty long tenured. I didn't really
Mickey.
get
That was fun.
Yeah, Mickey too as well. Yeah, I mean, you could probably put this up as one of the. I mean, you might even go Charlotte Becky too as well.
Oh yeah,
sure. I'm sure you could put her up there as well. That was something I found the other day that I thought was pretty unique. But I'll start off by giving my prediction.
I'll agree with you that it's growing and it could get there. I just don't think it's there yet.
Yeah,
I think it has been growing, and I think it's one of those stories that we're going to see. Like, this. I think we finally found like Bianca's like main. What am I trying to say? Like, it's there, like the Batman and Joker. Like, this is Bianca's
rival.
Joker, if you will.
Yeah, like Rock Austin, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Before I give my pick, I do want to, exactly. I don't know why I brought DC into this. I could have easily just said Rock and Austin, but I do need to bring up this comment real quick from Acefield. Got to eat crow on this. Young Anthony called this happening all the way back in February and had faith that she would be a big star still. It has been a good story. I was wrong on it. Young Anthony, I owe you a drink at Invictus. Well, I'm still too young for that, but I'm not too young to take that. I could drink a soda.
He'll take a glass of milk.
I'll take some milk.
You can put six pack of soda in here.
Thank you, Ace. I knew that I was correct from the start. No one could have, taken me back anyways. And you'll all come to realize that Judgment Day is the same way, but I will take the W this time around.
I'm telling you, I can't wait if these two flip and she becomes a face, and then Bianca becomes a heel, and they continue the feud that way. It could be the top women's feud of all time in WWE.
Now that's a good point. That is a very good point. We could go on about this forever. I think that's a good topic. What is the greatest women's storyline of all time? But until then, I'm going to give this to Bianca. I don't think it's time for her to lose the title. I think she has to avenge her loss at SummerSlam. Although she technically avenged the loss at WrestleMania, you really need to do it at SummerSlam. It's going to be a great match. You could have Becky win, and I wouldn't be mad about it, but there's going to be a lot of backlash if Becky wins this. Although she is the heel, so
at SummerSlam Backlash, that's the next pay-per-view.
At SummerSlam Backlash.
Oh my god!
I was gonna say, don't give Vince any ideas. That's how used I am to him being there.
But I'm not good enough to call Backlash.
Yes.
Nevertheless, I will give it to Bianca. J-Bone, what are you feeling?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. She's got to have that match with Rhea. So,
Yep.
Snaps for you. Snaps for you.
Two young stallions going at it.
Yes, Clash at the Castle, baby. Come on.
Yep, that's right. Who's going next?
Marco, you could go.
Yeah, definitely Bianca. And I think this is and I don't want to say the end of the story, but I think this is the definitive win for Bianca Belair. Obviously, she won it back at WrestleMania, but I think you tie it up really nicely if you do it.
It's the end of the chapter, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you close that chapter with her where she lost her time in 26 seconds. And who's to say Becky Lynch might lose in 26 seconds? You got to throw that in there as well. That might be a nice little twist to it. Match might not last long.
There are 9 matches on the card, and this is the most amount of matches that we've seen on a pay-per-view in a long time.
Well, since being one of the big fours, I like what they're doing with this.
She's gonna slap her,
so
and hit her with the KOD, and then match over. I could see that happening. Just a
I can see that. I actually kind of thought about that too.
Yeah. Well, Tom, you even each night of WrestleMania, like those still had a short amount of matches, like what, 6 or 7? So like this is the first card that we're getting like
longer than that.
Yep.
It definitely felt longer than that with all the filler, but this is the first I know for certain 9-match card that we've seen. Since last year. So you need a short match. Honestly, Marco, that might be prediction of the night. So I'll give you that one. Tom, what are you thinking?
You guys kind of persuaded me, but I'm going to go with my gut just to not change it. I'm saying Becky.
Oh, man.
Look at you losing the title.
He's losing the title. He is.
Flip it away.
What happens if J-Bone wins like the title? Does he still hold? Do you cash it on yourself?
No. I said if I'm not champion and or we're not busy, I'm cashing in next week.
But if you
but if you are the champion,
I got a year, pal. I got a year to cash that sucker in.
Oh boy, that would be hysterical.
I can't wait to hear. I know that the thing you picked for a tiebreaker, I know is rigged. Let's just put it there.
It's not. It is absolutely not.
Actually, no, it's not. Nothing about it's rigged.
It's rigged.
I literally came down on the fly.
How do you know what it is? You shouldn't even know what it is when you're the one cashing in. It should be a surprise.
What are you talking about?
No. We changed it up. We had discussions when you were outside of our group chat, but J-Bone doesn't know what it is. Me and Marco came up with
okay.
Oh, yeah. This is a me and Anthony
cool.
concoction for the cash.
We got a little something special for you guys.
I like it.
Okay, so Tom is going solo once again for his picks, going with Becky.
I know the last pay-per-view I went solo and I kept winning, so I'm going to have to do it again.
Yeah. All righty. So, look, we could go on and on about all of these different matches that are happening at SummerSlam, but we figured we already hit 2 hours. We got to wrap this up. So, with that being said, for first time ever, we have a second lightning round. For the second time ever in Rawdown history, a second Rawdown. Look, no explanation. Give your picks. We're going to go round robin. Logan Paul versus The Miz. J-Bone, it's your favorite match. Go ahead.
Logan Paul.
Marco.
Logan Paul.
Tom.
Miz.
Oh my god.
Logan Paul for me. Let's move on to my favorite match. Judgment Day versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio in a no disqualification match. We'll go in the same order. J-Bone.
Judgment Day.
Marco.
Judgment Day.
Tom.
Judgment Day.
He had to. He was.
And I will take the Judgment Day as well.
I would have picked Judgment Day if you gave them to me first.
But the
now, wait,
Mysterios
before
are
we
there.
is this a bonus question, J-Bone? Is there
well, I was gonna. We could talk. We'll do the bonus.
We'll do it at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
I love how you make it sound like you came up with this on the fly, but the graphic has the 3 matches prepared there. Nice job.
We're talking about the bonus questions, Tom.
Bonus questions.
He literally texted to me, and I sat in my truck as I was leaving work and came up with the questions.
They were awesome, by the way.
You were in the group chat, by the way.
Yeah, you're in the group chat,
right?
You can't even complain anymore. Breaking kayfabe here, talking about group chats. All right, we got another match of the night candidate: Riddle versus Seth Rollins. J-Bone.
Seth.
Marco.
Well, Riddle.
Tom.
Riddle, I think.
Oh my god.
I'm also going with Riddle. J-Bone, this is your first solo.
Seth is keeping that losing streak, bros.
Yeah.
He's not winning until
He
hasn't heard him yet.
Riddle at the end of MSG. Yeah, you're right. Let's go.
All right. Final match. You would think this would be an actual match that we're talking about, but Liv Morgan, Ronda Rousey, SmackDown Women's Championship. J-Bone.
Liv.
Marco.
Liv.
Tom.
Liv.
And I will say Liv as well. All right, fun lightning round, folks. It is now time for your main event of SummerSlam. It is a last man standing match for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship of the world. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, defends his championship against the beast incarnate, Brock fucking Lesnar.
All right, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Roman.
Go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it, pal.
I'm waiting and stuff. It's going to be Roman. He's going to win, and Austin Theory's going to try and cash in, and Dolph Ziggler's going to stop him. That's
All right.
Well,
you don't want to talk about why you don't think that Roman might hold on to the title because
Sunday's his 700th day. They're not having him lose the title now.
That's a good point.
They kind of brought that up.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna actually bring that up. You know,
It was Paul Heyman went on that whole streak promo where Brock stopped the Undertaker streak. He stopped. What else did he stop?
On Cena something
in UFC.
Yeah.
I forget the names.
Yeah, Randy Couture.
Cena.
He stopped Will Ferrell and from streaking through the quads.
But yeah, so I mean, go to the quads. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't see that happening. I mean, I guess
I don't see that happening.
I'll go next. I guess Roman.
Go ahead.
Roman's winning. No way in hell.
Candles.
No way in hell. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns does not headline Clash at the Castle. That's 100%. That's happening. I mean, we talked about this earlier. Brock's not showing up. He's done after SummerSlam. I kind of agree with that. I think he's going to get whatever amount of money they paid him to come back on SmackDown, and he has to be on this SmackDown coming up too as well. But I think he's going to be gone for a while until they figure out what to do in his absence. I think Roman Reigns' next feud is going to be Drew McIntyre. We spoke about this. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Clash at the Castle. They got to put all those stars in attendance. So, yeah, Roman, Drew. And maybe Drew ends the streak. Who knows? Ends that lengthy. No. Tom says no. He shakes his head no if you're listening. But yeah, Roman Reigns walking out.
Jay, when do you want to take it next?
I'm going to go with Joe Hawaii as the winner.
Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Joe Hawaii.
Yeah, Big Joe over there. He's taking
Big
this.
Joe.
Big Joe.
Yeah. He's just. I mean, it's just got to have him. And I think Brock's done for a little while. He's gonna go. He's gonna go bye for a little while and go slaughter. He's gonna go slaughter some cows and slaughter his wife.
as Jim Cornette said, he's gonna take his plane to Saskatchewan or Saskatchewan or wherever the hell he's from, and do whatever he does there. So yeah. I know you want to pick Brock Lesnar for some reason. I don't know why, but I mean.
No, you want to know why I want to pick Brock?
Pick him.
No, I'm not going to
pick him. Yeah, you can.
Pick him, coward.
Pick him. Yeah.
Fucking coward.
No, you're not going to do this to me because no. Let me tell you why I want to pick.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know why
coward.
You figureheads didn't even think for the slightest bit about that San Diego Comic-Con release.
That means nothing.
That doesn't mean shit.
For a year.
That's a Bill McKenna matchup.
With the world title and the universal title. I don't think that's weird whatsoever.
They don't know anything.
WWE is not informing Mattel, hey, make this because that's going to happen.
And by the way, it's two universal titles.
Who says that wasn't supposed to happen earlier on and they want to get back to that plan?
No, but it's two universal titles.
I'll tell you what, if it does happen, it would be like WWE be like, oh, that would be actually a good idea.
I didn't pick it because of that, because those two titles are the red and the blue. He's never held the blue title. He's only held the red.
It's the black and the blue.
No, it was the black.
I thought it was blue. I thought it was two
black.
titles.
It's the blue.
No, it was black and blue.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We talked about it on the show.
It's
black and blue.
And we kind of had like an argument on if Brock Lesnar ever held the blue title.
No, he never held it.
Huh.
I don't know. I think it's
never
pretty
held
sketch.
Nope.
No, just the red universal.
They turned it blue whenever the Fiend had it.
Yeah.
So it was Fiend, Goldberg, and then
Roman.
back to the Strowman, Braun, back to Fiend, then
Roman.
Yep.
Look at you, J-Bone, with your pandemic era knowledge. Good on you.
I can name every WWE champion there's ever been. So
I'm sure
in order. He can. He did it on questions.
All right. I'm gonna go with Roman because bringing up the 700 days is a very good point.
Damn it! I wanted you to go with Brock.
Yeah, go with Brock.
I wanted to go with Brock, but I do think that. And I guess I'll throw in another one since we already mentioned it.
Hot takes here. Get your hot takes here.
Drew was absolutely winning at Clash of the Castle.
Oh my God, you're fucking okay,
dude.
I think so.
All Out Weekend.
Yeah, exactly. It's All Out Weekend.
Yeah, you don't think they're gonna try to do something big?
Yeah, I agree with Anthony on that. I think
Roman was supposed to take time off.
Yeah, and then everyone got hurt, and he had to come
Guess
back.
what?
Early.
Plans change, pal.
Brock has never taken 3 months off while being champion.
I'm sorry, you can't have that title on Roman that much longer. Like, as much as we want to see him go the distance with the belt, it's hurting. That's a funny one, actually. You can't have that title on him for that much longer. As much as we say, oh, it gives an opportunity for other people on the roster to, have their say or whatever. Gives more opportunity without a world title. You need a world championship on your show, and to have a Roman show up every once in a while, you got to have it on someone who's going to represent the brand. You also would like to have Drew have his moment that he was robbed of from WrestleMania 36.
Exactly.
And I think that having him beat. They have a whole month to build up Drew, and they build up contenders pretty fast. So it'll be fine.
I can't wait to be champion 2 months in a row.
Yeah,
I agree. I think he's definitely.
Marco's with me on this one. So
I think he's winning.
As long as one person's with me, I know that I'm fine.
I'll give you a hot take right now.
Oh,
You never.
Hot takes here. Get your hot takes here.
Drew McIntyre.
What?
Drew.
What?
How's it feel?
Drew.
What?
McIntyre.
What?
Never
What?
hold
What?
the
What?
world
What?
title
What?
again.
Yeah.
That was a good touch. That was a nice touch at the end there, Anthony.
Thank you. That's a horrible take, Tom. You should be
That
ashamed
is a
of
horrible
that.
take.
That is, he definitely does. I think.
Treat take.
No, he's definitely winning it. Here's my end result is Cody Rhodes. A lot of people think, oh, Cody Rhodes should be the one to take it off of Roman. I don't think that's ever happening. I think Roman Reigns loses it before Cody Rhodes gets a shot, and I think if he is going to win it off of somebody, it's going to be Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
I think at this point where we stand, I see Roman being champion until WrestleMania 40.
Hot takes here. Get your hot takes here.
I like it.
But you're okay with not having a title for that long?
He's been off the last 3 months. He showed up like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, but every once in a while he'll show up. But like,
yeah, you're forgetting.
It only increases his heeldom, and then it makes us miss him whenever he's gone.
I mean, I guess like he's taking time off. Like that's. I see it by the end of 2022.
Look, he appeared on Raw, and look how big of a deal was. All he did was acknowledge me. And it was a big deal. The crowd was fucking banana. They went banana.
I don't know.
I
would love to see it.
Fucking douchebag.
Just to get him in that 1,000-day club, I would love to see it. I just don't know if they have the. I don't know if they have the challengers to go up against Roman.
Yeah,
I don't think they have the guts to do it. But
I don't know if they have the guts to go. You know,
when you don't have the challenges, don't have somebody challenge. It's that simple.
I don't know. I don't see it.
No, he's definitely losing that clash.
I do think. I will say this. I do think that Roman will lose Royal Rumble. I don't think when he fights The Rock at Mania, the title is going to be on the line. That match is big enough. It doesn't need the title.
It doesn't need the title.
I think he loses that Clash at the Castle, and he's gone for the rest of the year.
And then you get night 1 is Rock versus Roman, or night 2, and then you get the world title Cody versus Seth on the other night.
There's no way Drew McIntyre loses at a show that he's been campaigning for.
Absolutely no way.
Years and years. There's no way possible that.
What do you want to bet? I'll bet anything. There's no way Drew McIntyre walks out with the title that night.
Rhea Ripley wins. Drew McIntyre wins.
Rhea Ripley.
That is my type of show, Marco.
Drew McIntyre, no chance in hell.
I think he wins.
Chance.
Like,
I see Vince McMahon walking back in the arena.
I agree with Davey Bone Smith.
J Bone, we got some bonus questions we have to get to wrap up the show.
Yes.
We have some Jay Boney questions.
Jay Boney.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's see here. Let me pull it up. Sorry. So I got a list of questions here. Number 1. Okay, so this is kind of a two-parter. Shoot, I'm in the group thread here. I'm in kind of a two-parter. So if you say yes, you have to answer the second part of the question.
If you say yes, you're an idiot.
Well, not necessarily, but so basically, is Theory going to win? If you say yes, does he win the title? You get 2 points on that. If you say no, right? I'm sorry. Yes, does he cash in?
Okay.
If you say no, you just only get the 1 point. Okay. So, Young Anthony, go ahead.
I've been thinking about this one a lot, actually. As much as they make the Money in the Bank holder lose a lot, like historically, the Money in the Bank holder loses like a lot of.
Not
big
really.
matches.
The 85% of the time.
Yeah, it's
No.
yeah.
You know, I mean, like in the build-up, like just their like regular Raw SmackDown matches. Because they're guaranteed to be champion, you might as well have them lose.
Right.
I mean, I don't go by that.
Although that is the case, Theory's been losing a lot. I don't see him winning the title here. I'll say, fuck, this is tough. I'll say he cashes in and he loses.
Okay, so you got
he's still going to be an Impact player. He's 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
Like he'll be
he's
fine.
He's gonna be teaming with Lance Storm?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, what you got?
He's going to try to cash in. He's going to lose. And you can mark this down and give me an extra point when Dolph Ziggler is the one who costs him.
Oh my god.
Well,
That
it doesn't
doesn't
look
count.
like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No bonus points.
Yeah, because you're gonna need all the bonus points you can
Yeah.
get, pal.
Yeah.
Who'd you pick for that Raw Women's title match?
Marco, what you got?
He does cash in, and he fails miserably in doing so.
Yeah. It's been a while since someone failed to cash in.
True.
Last
Let me think
year.
about this. So, last year Big E won.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I forgot the title about
Yeah,
that.
Miz won. Miz won the year
won.
before.
Oh, damn.
Miz won, yeah. Miz, well, technically Otis won, but Otis lost the
Yeah.
briefcase. And then the year before that was Brock.
Rock won.
Brock cashed in. Yeah,
2018. Who was 2018?
Technically, Braun lost.
Yeah, Braun lost.
And Baron Corbin lost before that.
So Baron Corbin lost when he stepped into a WWE ring, but
No, we lost when he stepped into it.
golly. Okay, so let me kind of give you my quick take. I mean, for a while I was thinking, leading up to this, yep, Theory's going to cash in. He's going to win the title. Monday night changed my mind 100%. I was kind of leaning, no, that he's not going to win the title because they had like a mini test out there with him against Roman, and he failed miserably while he was out there. Like they probably gave him like carte blanche to kind of go off of what Roman says, and it was just bland as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then Roman just ate him up. So I'm gonna go with cash in and no. So
So we all have the same thing.
Yep.
yeah.
Just eliminate this question so you don't have to mark it.
I know,
No.
right?
I guess we could do that, but yeah, I'll just do that. But all right, next question. These can be some quick hitters. Will there be blood in the main event? Yes or no?
I'm going yes.
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 I'm going no.
Were you originally going no, or did you just say no because we all said yes?
No, I was originally going no because they switched to TV PG.
Makes sense.
No,
Get that.
I'm
Yeah, that
going.
makes
I'm going
sense.
yes. Only because
We've had
That's
blood on Raw with TV PG, so
Yeah, but as far as like, well, I guess if we're talking about like blading, like hard ways,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that could happen. I mean, I don't know if you could really count that if it was a hard way.
No, I'm saying Brock's gonna probably open up Roman Reigns for real. I don't think
You can never
I don't think
tell.
there's gonna be any blading. He did it to Randy
Yeah, you
Orton
can. You
at
can tell.
SummerSlam.
Unless you're Chris Jericho, you can't tell when someone is blading.
So
So,
you could tell.
No,
no,
Brock
didn't you see
Lesnar.
the barbed wire everywhere that he's clearly blading?
Well,
Wait a minute. Brock Lesnar has the ability to just open somebody up. He's done it plenty of times.
Yeah.
Right.
He did it to Randy. He grabbed the back of Randy Orton's head and just elbowed the shit out of his head and sliced his
Yeah.
head open.
Yeah. What's that next bonus question looking like?
All right, let me fill this in real quick. So are we going to say like hard ways are out of it?
I'm just saying blood.
I'm just blood. It'll be
Okay.
blood.
Blood.
All right, I'm just going to risk and say no.
Blood and guts.
Will the 10 count for the last man standing occur in the ring or out?
Outside.
Outside.
Outside. I don't think I've ever seen one in the ring.
I think it's happened before.
I'm sure.
But
It's
I'm gonna go out, so I'm gonna eliminate that question.
all right.
Do we see any face or heel turns just throughout the night?
Yes.
Ooh.
Tom says yes.
Oh, it has to be just yes or no.
Yeah. Just either way. Do we have any turns? Character changes?
No.
I'm gonna go no as well too.
Yeah, no. So Tom said yes, right? Okay.
Tom, who do you think? Street Profits?
It could be Street Profits. It could be Rey Mysterio.
Oh.
It could be Dominic.
I thought you had one in mind. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Do we see any returns?
Yes, Edge.
Edge.
No.
No return till Monday.
I'm saying yes.
I'm saying yes.
Jeez.
The Fiend. No, I'm playing.
All right. So
Is
you're
that
saying no, Tom? Yeah, that's it. Yep.
All right.
All right. So let me look at this real quick. So I think Anthony and Marco have this exact same answers across the board.
Oh no.
Yeah, y'all do.
You have to do the time thing again.
We'll have to do the time. It'll come down to the time.
I have an important question here.
All right.
Since we're live on the record and all these people's witnessing it, the tiebreakers are used only after the score of the card, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, and it's only like anybody that's in contention.
Right.
Yeah, like
So if it's like if we're like there's two people that are tied for first place, it's only those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
But with that being said, I was gonna do who won the week. It's late. I think.
Yeah.
Raw won.
I gotta go to bed.
Yeah. We got to skedaddle.
Raw
But
won the week because we were there.
yes, that's very true. But with that being said,
Hey, yo.
it's time to end the show. Folks, thank you so much for watching or listening or both to yet another edition of the Rawdown. Tom, get your shit in. Where can we find you?
The OG Fit Kid on Twitter and Instagram. Go back and check out the interview with Bill McKenna and Steve Ozer on Fig Night if you haven't.
yes.
We will also be on sessions this week. Me and Mike will do what we did a couple of weeks ago for the people who might want to listen to it and not watch it. And AEW wrap up Wednesday nights.
Yes. Marco, where can we find
Sweet.
Chick-fil-A?
I'm running the Twitter machine at the Chick-fil-A show on Twitter. You can follow Sheena on Chick-fil-A on IG. You can follow me at the MVP Marco on IG. Always go to the Pod Foundation on IG and Twitter to get your updates on all things Pod Foundation. That is the Turnbuckle Tavern Extra Cooler Show coming down the aisle of the Chick-fil-A show. Check out our new episode that we have out, our SDCC recap. We are joined by MDT. My Damn Toys joins us to talk some
What a
some
great
figures.
guy.
He was awesome. Yeah, it was a really good time. Loved his insights. He was really stoked about the Shelton Benjamin figure that's coming out.
He did. He was.
He thought we thought he was ribbing us, but he was legit excited. So we were shocked by that. But as always, chickfolyshow.com. Join the Facebook group.
J-Bone, coming down the aisle.
Coming down the aisle, we got a big episode this week. The wife is going to be on. We're going to be watching.
Uh-oh.
No Holds Barred.
Wow. The whole
match.
movie. You doing
The
a lot?
movie.
Oh, the match.
No, the movie. We're going to watch the movie.
The whole movie. Oh,
Yeah, we're
The
watching
whole
it.
movie?
Yeah, and we're just going to do commentary on the whole movie. So
shit. Oh, look at
you want to
you.
watch that? Of course, I'll touch briefly on the Vince stuff. But the show will be predominantly this. And then unless we decide, we may change the format a little bit. I don't know. We haven't recorded yet. So
yeah.
There's some ideas we have. We might just give her notes. I don't know. But as of right now, the plan is to do the whole movie. But so we're going to be watching that. She's never seen it. So
nice.
She's in for a treat. Of course, find everything coming down the aisle pod.com. I'm going to have a new Free the Fig coming up. I've got a bunch of them that posted up. So check that out. Subscribe to the channel there. And just past weekend, I dropped a new list, top 10 Heartbreak Kid matches. Check that out too.
Perfect. And you can find the Independent Epicenter coming out with a new video, I believe this weekend. I should have a new video out.
Invictus?
Yes. It is the fallout from their last show, which was about a month ago. So I'll have a video out for Invictus, hopefully by this weekend. But you can follow me at Indie Epicenter, INDIE Epicenter on Twitter and Instagram. And here at the tavern, you can check out Before Our Time. We have posted 2 episodes so far, myself and Nick Storm. This week, we are doing WrestleMania 3, Andre Hogan, Steamboat Savage, one of the greatest manias of all time. But will the 2 Gen Z dumbasses think that? We shall see. Folks, if you like what you heard, and I know that you did, make sure that you support the Turnbuckle Tavern any way you can. That is, of course, by going on over to theturnbuckletavern.com. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See our beautiful faces on YouTube and Twitch. Follow us. You can join the Discord where you can do some watch-alongs. We actually did a watch-along of Death Before Dishonor the other day, and it was a fantastic time with so many amazing people. And follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and buy some merch. You can go over to prowrestlingtees.com/tavern for some great t-shirts like Hollywood Tony, MVP Marco, Boney Shivani. UNG Fig Kid also has a shirt. And over at Teespring, which you can find at theturnbuckletavern.com with the official Rawdown logo. You can be the Rawdown champion. I know Tom will not be wearing that t-shirt come next week. Maybe he'll wear a Mr. Backlash shirt.
I'm Mr. Backlash.
You're Mr. Money in the Bank, and we'll get to that in a second, pal. Get stickers, mugs, whatever you need. We've got you covered. And finally, call the tavern 304-404-2004. Hear your message played on the flagship show. Call the tavern. Leave us a voicemail. Talk about the Rawdown. We want to get some more insight on the Rawdown from you, beautiful.
Yeah,
fans.
where's the Wizard Kid at?
Where's the Wizard Kid at? 304-404-2004. That's the number to call. Again, that's 304-404-2004. Folks, next week, big episode, the fallout from SummerSlam. We might have some little tweaks to the format of the show. We're playing around with some different ideas, so keep at it. Also, keep up with Mr. Bottom Right Corner there, Davy Bones Smith. It's late. He's got that money in the bank. He could be cashing in next week.
I'll put it on the social media if I decide I'm gonna cash in.
Ooh, he's going to make it official. I see.
Dang.
But folks, thank you so much for listening, watching another fantastic episode of the Rawdown. We will see you next week. But until then, take care, spike your hair, and woo woo woo.
You know it.
Tom, you suck.